year, Grand Canyon will join the West Coast Conference. Brandon Pfaadt scheduled for the D-backs as they play the Orioles in Baltimore today. He's gone 6 starts without a victory. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword bank at foxsports910.com. That's bank at foxsports910.com.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, now playing only in theaters.
It's the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
Look for another nice day to end our work week. Temperatures today, 91 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Tonight, we'll see those overnight lows dipping into the mid-60s with clear skies. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by KFC. The new Taste of KFC deals are meals starting at just $4.99. Grab a hot, juicy drum and thigh, a buttery biscuit, and creamy mashed potatoes with gravy. Only at KFC. It's finger licking good. Prices and participation vary. Tax, tip, and fees extra.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On
You're hot.
Sports 910.
Well, Phoenix Suns look to have their new head coach. The Diamondbacks scored go-ahead run at the top of the 8th during a 5-4 win over the Reds at Great American Park yesterday. And the Arizona Cardinals have a brand new, well, not really brand new, but a veteran wide receiver. Welcome into a Friday edition of Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B. As we're out here at Wright Toyota. I'm Dan Manuch alongside Jackson Groff, filling in for Jimmy B. and Roc. And then there's Chris Schubert back there at the iHeartRadio studios as we have got a lot going on. We got some great guests for you this afternoon. We're going to go to Baltimore. And our former producer, technical director, Glenn Clark, will talk about this red-hot, young Baltimore Orioles team. We'll catch up with Mark McMillan, former defensive back for the Eagles and the Chiefs. He's a little grilling for McMillan. He's got some outstanding fundraisers. He is a chef. You might have seen him on TV as well, too. And then James Jones, former Packers and Raiders wide receiver, and now he's part of the panel FS1's Speak. So, gentlemen, welcome in. All good back there, Shu, at the iHeartRadio studios. We all good to go?
So far, so good.
And Jax, you're good to go?
Yeah, they call these the dog days of summer. And Friday, as radio host, something that I've learned, Manuch, is that we hope that news breaks the morning or during the show. So we have some things to talk about in the dog days of summer. We've got about 5 breaking stories that happened today that we're about to talk about, which I'm excited
And we're going to dive into that. I think first and foremost, it looks as though the Phoenix Suns are looking to sign one Mike Budenholzer to a multi-year contract in excess of 8 figures. Let me throw it back to the iHeartRadio studios. Shu, what's the latest and greatest with Budenholzer looking, apparently, potentially becoming the new head coach of the Suns?
Yeah, all expectations are that Mike Budenholzer is going to be the next head coach of the Phoenix Suns. Still waiting to hear what type of staff he's going to put together, who some of the names are going to be a part of Mike Budenholzer's staff. But they fired Frank Vogel yesterday, and they've got their new head coach. It did not take very long for the Phoenix Suns to get their guy. Maybe this is why they waited so long to make their decision. They wanted to make sure that the guy that they were interested in was going to be interested in the position. And yet here we are 24 hours later, and the Suns got their new guy.
So what we're hearing is that in excess of 8 figures per year, it sounds to me, guys, like Monty Williams kind of money, deservedly so. He's got an NBA title. He took the Atlanta Hawks to 2 NBA East finals, if you will. Didn't win any of those. Coach of the year twice. I think he's got a lot of clout behind his name in order to deserve that 8 figures, which I think might be about 12, 13 million per year.
Yeah, he was a 17-year assistant with the San Antonio Spurs, where he was a 4-time NBA champion for the Spurs. He'd go on to go to the Hawks, as you mentioned, and turn that franchise around. He was coach of the year. Couldn't get an NBA title there, and in 2018, 2019 came over to Milwaukee. And the biggest thing that stands out is obviously the NBA championships. But on top of that, I think the biggest thing that I'm excited with Mike Budenholzer, Manuch, is his offensive mindset, but more importantly, transforming these kind of
low-tier players into mid-tier potential stars like you did with Drew Holiday, Bobby Portis, and some of those bigger lineups. I'm real intrigued to see what kind of guys does he coach that are going to be on the market to come play for the Phoenix Suns.
Would you guys not agree that when you looked at that team that beat the Suns and won 4 straight, they didn't quite have this? They had the Greek freak, obviously. But I think a lot of folks, and I would tend to agree that he did more with less in that series. They're down 0-2, and they win 4 in a row, they rattle off 4 in a row. And I think if there's anything that somewhat is the feeling that I got, is that as far as coaching, putting guys in place. And the other thing, Frank Vogel was known as supposed to be that defensive guru, right? He is known as an offensive guru, that being Mike Budenholzer, which I think will get this big 3 turned around and all those kind of things from that particular standpoint. So when I look at this, good hire, supposedly, he can get this offense going. The defense will take care of itself. But more importantly, remember when the guys were saying, well, he only had one superstar to coach in mono, in the Greek Freak, right? Well, don't you hit how many years with San Antonio did he have there, Jack?
17.
Okay. He was the assistant when they had a guy named Tim Duncan, Sean Elliott, Avery Johnson, Tony Parker, Kawhi Leonard, Manu Ginobili, just to name a few of stars on that team. And the superstar on that team was Tim Duncan. You could say that Tony Parker was also one of those superstars. So don't tell me that he doesn't know how to coach stars or superstars or know how to manage a group of guys. He was the assistant. He was pretty much in charge of the offense when he was with San Antonio. Now, folks, he started off as the AV guy. What's that? The audiovisual guy, the film guy, the tape guy, if you will. So you can't tell me he doesn't know how to handle superstars or stars in that room and know how to handle egos and manage egos and say, look, this is where we're going to do it. He's got that cachet, been under Popovich for so many years, and he'll listen and he'll adjust, but he's a guy that knows how to get it done. So don't tell me, Jimmy B, if you're listening out there on the golf course, that he doesn't know how to handle big-time guys.
Yeah, you speak about handle big-time guys, and last night I was kind of researching Mike Budenholzer and kind of wanted to hear the player perspective because being here in Phoenix, you don't really hear a lot of Milwaukee Bucks press conferences. We know Mike Budenholzer will won a title, but something that Evan Turner said that I think stands out and it will make a great fit for the Phoenix Suns. He said Budenholzer has a way of communicating with players and a confidence to him. Confidence and an ability to communicate with players are two big things. And, oh, yeah, Booker, I won a title against you in 2021. Yeah. I think I know what I'm doing.
Well, I think we were talking before that look what he did with Portis did in that championship series. Look what Holiday did in that championship series. I mean, Portis came out absolutely nowhere. Is raining threes all over the place. So this is one of those hires. They say it may take a couple of days. Cross the T's, dot the I's, put a period at the end of the sentence. And I think that this thing is well on its way to getting done sooner rather than later.
And I think what's exciting, too, he's from Arizona. He grew up a Suns fan. And the fact that he took a year off of basketball to kind of, maybe change up his coaching or change up to what the NBA is going to be. And he could have went to the Lakers job, but him choosing the Suns that quickly, as quick as Matt Ishbia decided to choose him, I think is a great sign that he said, hey, I can fix what's going on with the big three and what the situation is for the Phoenix Suns.
I think when we look at this, guys, we look at this through the prism of what Budenholzer was able to do in 2020 and 2021 when he won a title with the Milwaukee Bucks, defeating the Phoenix Suns in 4 straight games to win that series, right? And we can look at that team and compare it to this current team and see, do we think this team has enough to do what that Milwaukee team did in 20 and 21? Well, they've got the 3 stars, right? They had Giannis, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. Okay, you've got Kevin Durant, you got Devin Booker, you got Bradley Beal. We'll call that a wash in terms of they had 3 stars. This team has 3 stars. Where I tend to feel like this is more of an uphill battle than it was for Budenholzer in Milwaukee is the rest of the group. In Game 6, the final game of that series, here are the other players that drew in for the Milwaukee Bucks. PJ Tucker was a starter. Brooke Lopez was a starter. Coming off the bench was Bobby Portis, Jeff Teague, Pat Connaughton. If you look at this current Suns team, the way it is orchestrated, they don't have 5 guys other than their big 3 that match up with those 5 guys that Milwaukee had in 2020 and 2021. So yes, it's a great coach, championship pedigree, has been around a lot of winning, but the roster is what matters. And I think we all looked at this team and said, it wasn't Frank Vogel's fault. It was the roster that was flawed. And this team still has an uphill battle. They don't have a lot of exemptions. They don't have any cap space. They have to make their roster look like that team did in 2020 and 2021 for Milwaukee. And I think that's the bigger challenge. It doesn't matter who the coach is. I think the bigger problem this team is going to face over the coming months is putting together the other pieces around their big three.
And if you get a chance, you at the break, maybe see what he had in Atlanta to take that team basically from the doldrums, talk about rising from the ashes. They went to the NBA East Finals. They got beat, I think, by Cleveland back-to-back years. They got swept. Interested to see what they had there. I would also throw Grayson Allen in there, not so much as the star per se, but he's your scorer, he's your shooter. But I understand what you're saying. It sounds like, from the standpoint of personnel, James Jones has got some work to do. I think we can agree they definitely need to go get a point guard or a backup point guard. They need some help off the bench. One of the worst, if not the worst, scoring bench in all of the NBA. And I think that along with maybe having a couple more pieces, and to your point, Shu, yeah, they got some holes to fill. But I think Grayson Allen is somewhat there, but it's guys down low, big guys like Brooks down low. I mean, that's a big kid. They had like the whole ensemble, the way that he orchestrated and worked a lot of those things.
Yeah, if I had a question of Matt Ishmael, I'd ask him why not interview Budenholzer last year. I don't think they had an interview with him. I don't think he was in the top 4 when he was up and needed a job last year. I don't know if he had a discussion with Mike Budenholzer saying, hey, I need a year off of basketball. I'm going to go in Holbrook 3 hours away in the middle of nowhere in my cabin and kind of just get away from basketball. So that's one thing I wonder, but hey, you make bad decisions all the time being Frank Vogel, and I think this Budenholzer, it sits well with me now. Manuch.
Hey, real quick, got some great Cardinal news for all you Cardinal fans. You signed Zay Jones, I think a very, very good wide receiver in that wide receiver room. We talked about this the other day. I'm like, why did you let him leave the complex? Why didn't you just close the deal with him? Because he went on to Dallas. He interviewed with Dallas. I don't know who else he interviewed, but that was
and Titans.
Yes. So he is officially an Arizona Cardinal right now.
Yeah, he's 29 years old. If you remember, he was the 2017 second-round pick to the Buffalo Bills. But look, this is a possession wide receiver. He makes great catches. He had 116 catches for 114 yards and 7 touchdowns across his 25 games, 22 starts with Jacksonville.
Bet the game, watch the game. The Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. They have 3 live betting windows and 6 self-service betting kiosks, plus 8 screens displaying all betting lines. Check it out for yourself. Open daily from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Well, coming up, it's our Document Solutions play of the day. That's next on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, right here on Live from Wright Toyota in North Scottsdale.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's Fogco.
Say that again. Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction, like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online,
that made 0 sense.
Hi, I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Recently, You're
going to come back and I'm going to play a Toyota Stinger, and then I'm going to play the Document Solutions play of the day open.
Although we have offices
what do you want to happen?
In the country, Glenn and I both live here.
So you're going to throw to the Panarin clip.
We are.
Okay, that's all I need.
No,
that's all I need. I just need to know what you want to throw to.
The experience, reputation, and results as Lerner and Rowe. When you're hurt in a wreck,
I didn't get it into the last time, really.
Can get you the results you need. Call Lerner and Rowe.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Arena Sports Grill in Scottsdale on Bell Road
just needed to make sense.
For billiards, poker, and trivia. And now the Roc and Manuch Amber by Huss Brewing. Stop by today and experience top sports viewing, off-track betting, daily specials, and ice-cold Roc and Manuch Amber drafts. Arena Sports Grill.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
What's wrong? My travel rewards card didn't earn enough miles for my vacation. Are you crying? Are you crying
Because of that other credit card?
Uh-huh.
Well, switch to the Capital One Venture card. Venture lets you redeem miles on any travel purchase.
Really?
Yep, and you earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every single day. The Capital One Venture card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at WrightToyota.com. Time for today's play of the day, courtesy of Document Solutions, leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. Their service can't be copied. 623-252-8282. Now let's get to the play of the day.
Well, this was going to take us in an overtime game with the Rangers beat the Carolina, take on Carolina, beat them 3-2. Rangers now up 3-0. And here's how the game-winning goal happened last night.
Now Lafreniere moved it right back down. Off the stick of Orloff. The Rangers take a 3-game lead. A minute, 43 seconds into overtime. Kochetkov is stunned.
Thanks to TNT, our Timmy Panarin get the game-winning goal in overtime, 3-2. It looks like the Carolina needs to get on to Bigfoot. They are down 3-0. And that is our play of the day, which is brought to you by Document Solutions. Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? Well, call Document Solutions of the Valley, 623-252-8282, and get yourself or business a new all-in-one printer. Right now, you can buy, lease, or even rent many makes and models that work off your smartphone. Again, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied. Ask for our good buddy, Greg House. Again, 623-252-8282. Well, some of the other sounds last night. A nice win for the Diamondbacks, the 4th in a row as they beat Cincinnati 5-4. And here's the game-winning knock in the top of the 8th inning by Corbin Carroll.
Corbin center field. That gets down out there. Here comes Barnhart to throw from Friedel. Is offline. And he's in there. Corbin Carroll with a big 2-out RBI knock. And it's 5-4 Diamondbacks.
Yeah, I'd like to thank MLB Network for that one. Barnhart comes in standing up, very, very close at the plate. The D-backs have won 4 in a row in that 5-4 victory over Cincinnati. They start a new series tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. We'll check up with Glenn Clark here at 105.7 The Fan here in about 10 minutes or so as he covers the Baltimore Orioles. By the way, folks, that game tonight at 4 o'clock, the only place you can get it is on Apple TV. Apple TV. So if you're anxious to watch the Diamondbacks versus the Orioles, it's on Apple TV. Well, this one, guys, doesn't surprise me. Boomer Esiason on CBS Sports Network said he thinks, he just has a gut reaction that he thinks that the Christmas Day games could be on Netflix. Here he is yesterday talking about it.
200.
Yeah, I mean.
And Netflix has about 200 million subscribers worldwide.
Right.
And this is why I believe that Netflix, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
What I think is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong, but I don't think I am.
All right.
I'm going to give you one of these things. Like
one of these things?
You want to take it with a grain of salt? You can take
grain of salt spot. Here we go.
Do not be surprised if the NFL and Netflix get in bed.
Oh, man.
For a nice little Christmas Day football games.
Wow.
I would not be surprised.
That's Boomer Esiason on CBS Sports Network talking about these three games. It's not a Wednesday this year, as a matter of fact, Christmas. I don't know, guys, thoughts? I mean, we have Netflix. It won't be a big deal for me. A lot of folks are interested in just watching it, not even the cable, just over regular TV.
I think it's genius by the NFL. They're claiming that they are going to have Christmas Day be theirs over the NBA with Netflix, because not only, and Shu knows this, growing up in the streaming era, it's frustrating for one to change from one channel to the next channel. But not a lot of people watching Netflix, or I guess the Christmas games on Netflix, are going to want to go from the first quarter, halftime, get off of Netflix and go watch the NBA game, because they might, you can't tell when the other game's going to start being on a different platform. So I think it's brilliant by the NFL to do this. We're starting to transition into streaming, and everyone, like he said, 20 million people have Netflix, so it's not really an issue, and they could do a discount.
Well, what they'll do is, they'll time it. They'll have one game at 10, 30, 11. They'll do like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They'll do those 3 games. But you're right. This somewhat trumps the NBA because of the big day it is for the NBA to have those 3 or 4 games. I think, if I recollect, didn't they have 4 games on Christmas Day for the NBA?
Yeah, they do 4 or 5, maybe even 6. Just depends on what they want to do of the day. But, I mean, Roger Goodell came out and said that they would never play on a Wednesday. So we're real intrigued to see, with the schedule coming out next week, if those teams that play on Christmas Day, on a Wednesday, get kind of a bye, or maybe they play the following Monday above. What do you think, Shu?
Everybody's worried about AI taking over. This is all I hear about, AI taking over. The NFL is going to take over. They don't care. Holiday, day of the week. This thing's going to be 365 days in about 10 years. I mean, this thing just continues to grow and grow. It's not a surprise. The NFL is king. They know that they could put a game on Mars at 3:00 in the morning, and we would all be up watching the game, because that is the way everybody feels about that sport. So they feel as if Netflix or Amazon or just insert streaming partner here is going to pay them a lot of money for the rights to those games on these holidays. And so they're just going to say, we were already going to put these games on anyway. Sure, we'll collect a big fat check from you guys, and we'll just deposit that into our bank account. The NFL is just taking over the world.
Here's the one thing that I like about it being on cable, because I can hit the next and the next and the next. You can't do that once it's on Netflix. You got to get out of it.
You got to sign in,
sign out. So once I'm in, okay, I'm going to be there. But when it's on the cable, I could go to that basketball game. The football games and the basketball would overlap a little bit with Christmas Day. We saw it last year.
Well, and then now too, you got the in-season tournament, right? The seasons are longer. The Christmas Day doesn't have that pizzazz, that playoff-ready basketball like it used to have with the old uniforms and the Kobe versus the Celtics. You never see those matchups and rivalries now with the NBA.
Guys, this is amazing. A 14-year-old phenom, yes, he signs an MLS contract. Yes, he signs a contract. Now, you get a lot of guys coming out of high school in baseball at 16, 17 years old. Some the hockey kids are coming out of high school 16, 17 years old.
Seeing some golfers now, too.
Some golfers. I know the one kid that went on the tour out of high school.
Yeah, there was a 15-year-old that played last week in the Byron Nelson. There was another 15-year-old that finished top 10 in the Corn Ferry event.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting. You're seeing some younger and younger. Well, this young man, his name's Caven Sullivan. Folks, he doesn't sound like he's 14. But listen to this. This is credit MLS in reference to him signing his contract with Philadelphia.
My name is Caven Sullivan. I play center attacking midfield, and I'm 14 years old. Yeah, signing in front of my city and my boyhood club is definitely a dream of mine. Philadelphia is my home. I was born and raised here, and I'm really excited to play in front of the city that made me. It really does mean a lot. I've been watching the Philadelphia Union for years now, even before my brother signed for the team. My uncle Chris Allwright also was the former GM here, and I was in and around the facilities, and I've always been inspired and looked up to these players. So now being in a locker room with them is definitely surreal.
Well, Shu, maybe you can answer this. I mean,
Sure.
Is there a minor leagues? Okay, he signs with the Philadelphia Union. I get it. Is he going to go to minors? Is he going to come play with them right from the get-go? How's this going to work?
We will see how they choose to utilize him in their squad. I will tell you, everybody thinks very highly of him. There's a clause in this contract, guys, that when he turns 18, he can leave to go play for Manchester City. That is how highly touted and how highly regarded this kid is. He has a contract with his boyhood team in Philadelphia, which, by the way, is a huge deal for American soccer and for the MLS. You heard this kid's a phenom, and one of the things he mentioned there is, I grew up watching this team. We are now entering a generation where the MLS is a big deal to those in the soccer community. And so this kid is so good, they signed him to this contract, and they put a clause in there to where if Manchester City comes calling, the biggest club in the English Premier League comes calling, he can leave his contract with Philadelphia and at 18 years old, go and play in the Premier League. This kid's going to be on the biggest stage at MLS. He potentially could be in the biggest stage in England. And keep an eye out. This kid in a couple of years is going to be on the biggest stage when it comes to the U.S. men's national team.
Well, I think one of the things that they should do, and I would hope they do, is just market the hell out of this kid as he grows into his position. Because I'm anxious, I'm anxious to watch this young man, watch him play. Guys, you may ask, how is Mike Tyson training? And why is he looking so young? Well, he was on the Damon Elliott show yesterday, and here's why he's looking so young and so fit.
You look like 20 years old. What the hell? What are you eating? Raw meat. Seriously, Mike, you're eating raw meat? Are you swallowing it? Or remember, you used to spit that stuff out? Yeah, I'm going to have to eat it now because my opponent's going to be raw meat. That's right.
Raw meat. Seriously? You guys believe that?
Yeah, he's kind of psychotic, man. He's back in the zone, back boxing. He knows it's an official match against Jake Paul, and he's been seeing Jake Paul knock some of these former fighters out. He doesn't want to be on that list.
Have you guys seen how lean he looks in his training? Mike looks like he's dropped 25 pounds. He almost looks like a welterweight versus a heavyweight. You buying into that there at all, Shu? The raw meat thing?
Probably. Again, it's Mike Tyson. But here's the problem with this, guys, is this is going to be on Netflix, right? It's going to be a big boxing special. A lot of Netflix talk here in the second segment of the show here on a Friday. But we're going to have this big boxing match on Netflix. We're doing all this promotion. We're doing all this training. He's still like 56 years old. Paul's like new to the game. Like this could end in like 2 rounds. And then we did all this for that. Like it's not a fight that's going to lead toward. It's not like Mike Tyson's making a return and we're getting 10 fights from Mike. This is just he's cashing in, wants a big paycheck. So it's hard for me to like get excited for this.
I wonder what the odds are. We'll throw a little chatter at Scott Sprites. We'll catch up with him at 2:30 about. I would see one of the props would be how long can Mike Tyson last? Can he make it? I mean, I would think to be one of the props.
Yeah, those props usually come out like right before, maybe a week before the fight. But what I've last saw, Jake Paul is still the favorite against Mike Tyson.
I'm not going to buy it. Well, if it's on Netflix, I'll have it. I don't know. I'm getting a little more curious as time goes. He's getting in shape.
There's probably an NFL game that day, so we'll probably be watching that. They'll probably just make up a big extravaganza that they'll have that day.
I'm sure there will be. Leave it up to them. Well, though the D-backs have won 4 in a row, they now face one of their biggest challenges as they take on the Baltimore Orioles for a 3-game series. Glenn Clark from 105.5 Baltimore joins us next and breaks down this American League East first-place team. You listen to Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B right here on Fox Sports 910 live from Wright Toyota.
Clear. Hey, questions.
Trending on Fox.
How involved do you want me to be here?
It's a weekend in Baltimore for the D-backs who send Brandon Font to the bump in today's series.
I mean, do I want to chime in? It's a baseball guy.
The hiring of Arizona native Mike Budenholzer as their new head coach. Budenholzer, the former.
Okay, I've got a bunch for Glenn.
Wide receiver Zay Jones.
There's a lot on this team that's interesting.
The veteran wideout had 34 receptions for the Jaguars last season. Grand Canyon announcing today that they'll join the West Coast Conference for the 2025-26 school year. And the Mercury.
I wasn't saying that I needed all the questions. I just was asking.
As they entertain the LA Sparks. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910. Available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer
Adley Rushman.
Keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
Enter for a chance to win G2G protein bars for an entire year. Text G2G to 59925. You'll receive a confirmation text. Standard message and data rates apply. Text G2G to 59925. G2G protein bars. Fresh, healthy, and delicious. Now available at Costco.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, historic rivalries tip off with shareable bites, and every shot you take is a game winner. All season long, you're balling with 29-degree beer, courtside seats, and scenic views. I mean, where else can you pair wall-to-wall hoops with hard-to-find whiskey? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sunset. Twin Peaks is open really late, running down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Do you ever have a case of the Mondays? You won't if you tune in to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from 1 till 4 as they broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. That's every Monday from Casino, Arizona.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley, the official copier and IT solutions company for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8.
Rock didn't fire me.
Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, coupling together Patrick roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roof.
That was nice for COVID for us.
For your maintenance, repair, or
have that when we can go.
Slugs a grand slam. Simply head over to BetMGM and place a home run prop bet for any of this weekend's games. If the player you bet on goes yard with the bases loaded, you'll win a share of $50,000 in bonus bets on top of your wager. Take advantage of great home run odds, new ways to enjoy all 9 innings, with more same-game parlay options and exclusive signature bets found nowhere else. Log into BetMGM or create your account to place a bet on a player to knock one over the fence this weekend. Swing for the Grand Slam jackpot this season with BetMGM, official sports betting partner of the MLB.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Arizona only. New and existing customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
You're hot.
Well, the Diamondbacks are traveling to Baltimore to take on the Baltimore Orioles, who have won 7 out of the last 10 games. They're a half game up on the Yankees, and this team is climbing and showed that promise last year and continue to stay hot. So we thought we would go back to Baltimore to a guy that lasted, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 years. I think Rock might have fired him 2 or 3 times during that 10-year. Glenn Clark now joining us here on the right to the guest side. He's the host for Press Box and 105.7 The Fan. Glenn, it's Manuch, it's Jackson, Schubert. How you doing there back there in Baltimore?
Manuch, what's going on, brother? I think it was I think I lasted all of 10 minutes or so. And then, I served my time. No. What's going on, man? Everything good?
We're doing good. We're just we're watching this very young Baltimore Orioles team and a half game up on the Yankees. I know it's young, but what they did last year and what they continue to do, you got a guy like Gunnar Henderson at 22 years old. You got this youth movement per se. My first question to you, Glenn, is, has this been a development in the making the last several years with these young guys, or did this just happen, or there have been a few moves to create some of this?
Yeah, so I would say it's something that was predetermined. The Orioles didn't really hide from what they were doing after the Dan Duquette, Buck Showalter era came to a close. And, they were the winningest team from 2012 to 2016 in all of Major League Baseball, but they had nothing to show for it. They didn't even win a league championship series game in that time frame. So they decided that they were going to go through a full rebuild, and they kind of openly announced that they wanted to be the Astros. And they hired Mike Elias, who had been assistant general manager in Houston and had overseen a lot of the drafting that went on down there and how they built that roster. And you can, you put in whatever you want to say about the banging on trash cans. But as far as the talent was concerned, he was involved with a lot of acquiring that talent. And the Orioles, without acknowledging that they were just going to stink and not win many baseball games, they said that this is the way it was going to be. And, there was a lot of consternation about that, particularly coming out of a fruitful area of Orioles baseball, and a lot of accusations that they were just being cheap because of the previous ownership group. And, there were plenty of opinions that could be had, but what happened was it worked. The plan worked. They immediately got the number 1 pick, and they drafted Adley Rutschman, who is an absolute rock star behind the plate, and right now is hitting over 300, is showing you exactly why they thought he could be a Buster Posey type figure. The one that was the steal was Gunnar Henderson was not a number 1 overall pick. Gunnar Henderson was available for everyone to have into the 40th pick, and that was the one that really probably has accelerated this, because Gunnar Henderson being a legitimate MVP caliber or contending MVP caliber player has sped this process up. Winning arrived when Adley Rutschman arrived. Gunnar Henderson's arrival last year and being Rookie of the Year was what turned this into turbo speed and allowed them to make a run to winning the East and going over 100 wins a season ago, and why it is they're absolutely a viable World Series contender.
Glenn Clark, host point 7, the fan. Glenn, I want to elaborate on Gunnar Henderson a little bit. He 6'3", 6'4", good size kid. Reminds me a little Cal Ripken Jr. size-wise.
Sure.
Moves very well, got a strong arm, but the pop from the plate. I've seen him, left-handed. Is he a switch hitter, or is he just a lefty all the way?
No, just a left-handed hitter. And the other thing that they did uniquely here in Baltimore, Manuch, and there's been a lot of people that have had their comments about it, they recognized that they had loaded up on left-handers.
Manuch, I got one.
They said, well, here's what we're going to do is we're going to play to that. And they moved the wall back in left field here in Baltimore, which had been very favorable to hitters. And they looked at like a Yankees lineup that was loaded with righties and said, we're going to bump it back. And now we're going to have a better, it's going to work more for our pitchers and our lineup, which is more loaded with lefties at this point, and switch hitters like Adley Rutschman and Anthony Santander. It's going to play to them. Like, it's not going to impact them. It's going to impact our opponents. And, everybody around baseball complained and pissed and moaned, and the Yankees said, hey, you made it create a park. Like, they don't have, almost embarrassing lines down the right field and left field lines. But it's worked brilliantly for the Orioles. It's worked exactly the way they thought it was going to work, which is it hasn't really hurt them outside of, say, Ryan Mountcastle, who is a power-hitting right-hander. And it really has hurt their opponents as they've come to Camden Yards. And it's been incredibly smart. They continue to play to lefties. Right now, their biggest problem is they have too many lefty bats that they don't have spots for when they face right-handed pitching. Heston Kjerstad is one of the top prospects in baseball and has barely played since he got called up. It's been an issue for them. They have so many lefty bats. Everything has worked in their favor that way. It has been brilliant the way that they have played that out.
Glenn, when we look at this team and the playoff experience that they were able to gain last year, new ownership group comes in this year, there are higher expectations. But when we talk about teams winning in the postseason, we talk about needing to have that elite back-end bullpen to help you win those close games. And I don't want to talk about the elephant in the room, but Craig Kimbrell got $13.5 million from this team, and he has not been very good. And I think in years past, if for Baltimore fans, they would just have to kind of eat that. We are in a different era of this team. Do you think there is a moment in time where this team might make a decision to move off from him as their closer?
Yeah, they're going to have to if it continues. There's no doubt. I'm a little surprised they're being as stubborn about it right now as they are, instead of giving Yanier Cano
one more real quick
temperament for it. He did struggle after Felix Bautista got hurt a year ago when he was put into that role. But he's been great. He's been lights out to start the season. I'm a little surprised that they aren't making the move a bit quicker. I think that's a little bit of deference towards a veteran, and to your point, the amount of money that they spent. But no doubt, 4 of his last 5 appearances have either been a blown save or they've gone and gotten him before he could blow the save. It's been a mess. And we saw this in the postseason a year ago with the Phillies. It looks like someone who is at the back end of their career. Now, to be fair, the one appearance that wasn't a blown save or getting pulled was last Friday night against the Reds, and he struck out the side and looked dominant. And for the first month of the season, there were a few of those appearances. So I can sense why they want to keep trying to figure out if they can work, but whether it's turning to an internal option, and Yanier Cano would be the one that would make the most sense. They'll get Tyler Wells back from injury, and that might be a play. Journeyman Albert Suarez is someone that could be in that conversation. I think they're going to be in that market at the deadline. I doubt it's going to be Mason Miller, just because that's going to be an extraordinary cost that I don't think they're going to be willing to pay. But this can't continue for a team that wants to win a World Series. They know that. They're showing a little bit more deference than I think the fan base would like, but they know that this can't be what ends up being the difference. They're going to have to address it.
And let's talk about external options, because this team is probably poised more recently than ever to play in that bigger market of talent when it comes to free agency. It comes with trades. Corbin Burns is the example. Real quick, David Rubenstein, what do you think his appetite would be? And I know the Corbin Burns move was a big one, but is there a big appetite to potentially make a big move in the middle of the season to show everybody else we're going to make this team better? We have the resources to make this team better, and we are on that stage with everybody else?
It's the exact correct question, and it's the one
we
just don't have the answer for yet. And we're all interested, and every time we've tried to broach it with David Rubenstein,
you can go, Manuch.
Amount of media, he's always saying, I'm going to defer to Mike Elias. And it's the smart thing to say. And to be fair, you don't want your owner meddling in what has been a successful front office that's done a lot of good things. But yeah, that's the question. The question is, how deep are they willing to go? And I do believe that he's not, based on what we have learned about David Rubenstein, and I've talked to a lot of people in the business world that are friends with him. He's close friends with Ken Burns, the documentary filmmaker. And I had a lengthy conversation with him about this. And I don't think that he's going to try to force something. I genuinely believe that he got this job believing that the front office is the right group and that they are doing the right things, and he's going to defer to them. And what I'd be stunned by in how I know Mike Elias is going wildly bold. Like everybody around, look, in baseball, everybody's freaking out about Mason Miller. He's doing things with the baseball that we don't see humans do, but he's under control for like the rest of his life in Oakland. And what it would cost, or wherever they're going to play moving forward, what it would cost to acquire him would be astronomical. And while it's easy to say, hey, the Orioles have tons of spare parts, they value the Pythagorean model. They value getting what it's worth, getting value out of a trade, and not just paying outlandishly because you think that's a piece that could be the difference. So I think that will be interesting to see. I believe they'll be in the bullpen market. I believe they're willing to part ways with the bevy of talent that they have. I don't think they're going to wildly overpay just for the sake of being aggressive or trying to go get one guy, because this is the Yale educated, we have done the scientific model. I can't stay in
1 minute
with these people, Manuch. I'm not smart enough to be able to handle the conversation. That's the way they think.
Hey, just real quick, we got a minute. I got to ask a football question. You owe me, Glenn. How'd the Ravens do in the draft? How'd they do in the draft, Coach?
Manuch, I don't know what you think. I think they did well given the circumstances. Like, I think their biggest concern, they are overturning 3/5 of their starting offensive linemen. So I was concerned, and I thought that was the priority going into the draft. Now, they're very high on Roger Rosengarten, the tackle from Washington, and I'm sure, doing ASU, you've watched him a little bit. They believe he can be a starting right tackle, despite the fact that he went in the second round. They believe he can be their starting right tackle on day one. If that's the case, then this will prove to be an A draft. I like Nate Wiggins. I certainly like his size. He matches up against top wide receivers. You can never have enough cornerback depth. They didn't force anything, and that's part of why the Ravens have sustained success and been in it year in and year out, because they don't force things. They do what they believe is right. Is it what they needed to do in order to take the next step towards winning a Super Bowl? They're suddenly thin again at wide receiver. They need this to work out with Rashad Bateman, who lives out that way, the former Minnesota wide receiver, who was a first-round pick and hasn't played at that level yet in his career. There's some areas that are a bit concerning, none more than offensive line. But if Roger Rosengarten, their second-round pick, proves to be a day-one starter at right tackle, then I think we'll look back and say it was a very good draft.
He's an absolute great listen. We trained him well. Glenn Clark, the host for Press Box and 105.7. Just go to his Twitter page, at Glenn Clark Radio. That's at Glenn Clark Radio. Glenn, always appreciate the time. We will track you down soon, my brother. We miss you. We love you, and I hope things are going well there in Baltimore with the kiddos.
The very same to you. Love you, man, and miss my Coyotes, too. I'm very sad about that. I'm not going to get over it for some time, but love you, man. Always appreciate you.
There he goes, Glenn Clark, again, at Glenn Clark Radio. Hey, folks, you've heard me talk about G2G bars before, and you got to give them a try. They're the perfect, healthier snack or even meal replacement. QBs all the time. I'm always on. G2G bars have been a game changer. Not only are they satisfying, they're gluten-free with 18 grams of protein, and they taste great. They have all kinds of delicious flavors, and they're fresh. And now they're available in Costco. So just check the refrigerated section, and you'll see what I mean. You can also go online at g2gbar.com. That's g2gbar.com. G2G bars now at Costco in the refrigerated section. Coming up next, it's our Football 50. We got some news, Cardinals. This is Fox Sports 910 and now 99.9 HD3 with Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B live.
Clear. Win some bonus bucks. Listen for your chance to win $1,000. Dollar bill show. When you hear the keyword at the top of the hour, weekdays from 9 to 5, enter it at foxsports910.com to win. Sponsored by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys.
Hey, Arizona, it's your local accident attorney, Kevin Rowe from Lerner and Rowe, where there are no fees until we win your case. Speaking of win, we want to help you bank $1,000, powered by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorneys. Interact, need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today, 977-1900.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner & Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Looking for a change in your career? All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278.
There's something that binds us all. The constant hunger to improve. The obsession with every detail. And the reward of a custom fitting taking your game to a whole new level. We're all bound by two words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule your fitting at Vans Golf Shops. Find your local store at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid.
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at WrightToyota.com.
Let's get ready for football! It's Football at 50, the latest top football story trending this hour, right here with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Well, it's not a slow day in the National Football League, especially for the Arizona Cardinals. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B out here at Wright Toyota. Got Jackson Groff. We got Schubert back there in the fine iHeartRadio studios. All right, Jack's got a little something going on. New receiver joining the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, Zay Jones, familiar face for Jaguars fans out there. He played in Jacksonville there for a couple seasons, the past two being 6'2", 200 yards. Had a down year last year, only had 300 yards receiving. But Manuch, when you go to his 2022 film, when Calvin Ridley wasn't on the roster, when he was suspended and he was in a number 2 role, he had a phenomenal year, 823 yards, 82 catches, and showed up at some big moments in the playoffs. And that's what they need is a reliable guy, a possession-first receiver. And look, Kyler Murray, too, Manuch, being a former quarterback, if a guy can catch the ball consistently, he's going to be one of your go-to targets in game situations.
Folks, it's interesting. He said catch the ball consistently because tackling and catching the football, sometimes an anomaly in the National Football League. I think last year we've seen more drops. Matter of fact, 2 years ago they documented. They said over a 10-year period, 2 years ago, is more drops than they'd seen in the National Football League. But that's vitally important. Catch the ball. They say that in baseball. If you can catch, field, and pitch, you've got a pretty good chance to win it all. It's the same thing in the National Football League. If you can catch the ball, run the proper routes, but catching the ball, and he's glue hands. I wonder how this is going to affect. Is this going to affect Greg Dortch or Michael Wilson as far as the rotation? 5 receivers. Heck, you even got Trey Benson as a running back that can in there. But who do you think affects the most?
Yeah, I think it's Michael Wilson. I think Michael Wilson gets to start being the 3rd-round draft pick and what he did last year. But you kind of have that insurance with a guy like Zay Jones, and too, Manuch, they like to go wide, 5 wide receivers. Maybe instead of 2 slots, you kind of put in Zay Jones in the slot, a more 6'2", 200-pound wide receiver there. But as far as I see it, Marvin, you got Wilson / Zay Jones and Greg Dortch there in the slot. And you got Zach Pascal. Now this wide receiver room starts to kind of look a little better, a little more depth, and a guy in Zay Jones that will be added.
Let's not poo-poo the tight end either now. I mean, Trey McBride,
Marvin Harris Jr.
I mean, you've got an arsenal there. I like the look on paper, and to your point, 6'2", 200 pounds, a good-sized kid as well, too. Caleb Williams, big surprise here. Breaking news, huh, Jax? He's going to be the official starter.
What?
No way.
Chicago Bears.
No, come
yes, on. Right.
Training camp, preseason games. Come on, we don't need to be naming starters in May.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Matt Eberflus, he took care of the obvious on Friday, delivering a no-nonsense response when asked who his starters at this point in the offseason. Number one, guys, why would the guy ask that? Number 2, did somebody come in that's going to push him for the starting job?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, who?
Tyson Bagent.
Brett Rippon, baby. Come on. He played for my Jets last year. We need a competition in Chicago.
I think it's Tyson Bagent, Shu. Come on, the Shepherd product.
Yeah, listen, Bajan Zero, as we referred to him in the scouting community in the lead-up. Yeah, I mean, come on, we need a QB competition, man.
And I will always. I've been good about admitting my mistakes, guys. Shu, you called me out about 3 weeks. Okay, my bad.
Hand up accountability.
My bad. I lost myself there. I said, damn, the quarterback competition with the Bears will be spot on. Caleb Williams will be lucky to see the field this year. But Matt Eberflus told the reporter he's our starter. End of sentence. .t. Next question.
You mean trading Justin Fields when you had the number 1 overall pick and then selecting Caleb Williams wasn't enough of a clue as he was going to be the starter? We had to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah. Could have had a V8, right? That reporter, sometimes you feel like a nut. I guess sometimes you don't. Looks as though Kirk Cousins is getting close, guys. Raheem Morris, the head coach, told reporters this morning that he continues to improve and should be good to go, fully practiced for phase 2 and moving into the OTAs. And then by the time he gets to training camp, he should be about 100%. They say currently he's about 80%.
Yeah, and he was coming off one of the best starts this season with Kirk Cousins there. The Vikings were in playoff contention and somehow, some way, almost squeeze their way into the playoffs. But for Kirk Cousins, stay healthy. You've got Penix nipping at your heels too. But I think Cousins adapting to what Michael Penix Jr. is happening, and they've got all these months to kind of deal with that beef. But how do you see Kirk Cousins in Atlanta's offense?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a system that he's familiar with, right? That comes off of the Shanahan-McVay tree. That's what he ran and was super successful with in Minnesota for a couple of years when O'Connell was there. So I'm not going to be surprised if they hit the ground running and they're really good. The division's wide open. The Saints, they get Derek Carr, but they haven't really supported him in the correct way. They're still paying for a lot of the mistakes they've made as a franchise in the past and some of the restructuring of the contracts. So this division's wide open. Carolina's not where you want them to be. I know Tampa won it last year, but I think we feel that Tampa could be caught in that division. And so Atlanta and Kirk Cousins, they've got to hit the ground running, new coaching staff. But I think they are going to be in the mix to be the team that wins that division.
And last but not least, guys, our good buddy Mike Yam of NFL Total Access, we had him on the other day. He was talking to GM Tom Telesco of the Las Vegas Raiders, and we've got a QB battle, guys, that he is comfortable with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Donnell for battling out for the starting role. We're going to catch up with Mark McMillan here at the top of the hour. He does the pre and post games for the Las Vegas Raiders. I like Minshew. I think he's done a good job, and when he's come in, did an outstanding job for the Colts. By the way, he went to the Pro Bowl, did he not?
Real quick.
Yeah, he was like a Pro Bowl alternate. I know some of the Pro Bowlers like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes playing in the Super Bowl, could not play in it. But, I mean, to play in 17 games last year, 3,300 yards, 15 touchdowns, with 9 interceptions, good touchdown-interception ratio, and he can run the football as well. And more importantly, I think he's more of a vocal leader. I think that's what's going to set him apart from O'Connell.
You know, guys, the Raiders are an interesting team to me because I don't mind them not taking a quarterback. You know, new GM, right? They make Antonio Pierce the official. They remove the interim tag. He is the head coach. So I have no problem. Hey, let's take a year. Let's evaluate this roster if you're Tom Telesco, and then we'll make the quarterback decision when we feel the roster is ready. But then they went out and gave Christian Wilkins like $400 million. And then they take Brock Bowers in the draft. Those are very like win now type of moves. So it just feels as though they're doing things that you would think a team that would be ready for a quarterback would do, but then they don't want to take the quarterback. I think they're half pregnant. I don't know if they know what they really want to do.
Do you think part of that too, though, is making guys like Max Crosby and Devontae Adams happy and not having them request for a trade?
Sure, but then they're going to be caught in the middle, and then they might end up missing the window with those guys. And then when they start the new window with the quarterback, those guys are going to be gone anyway. So I think it's a mess there in Vegas.
Define half pregnant. Either you are or you aren't. Or you mean halfway through the pregnancy? Or
well, it's like I was going to use the term about, you know, they took the cake out midway through while it was in the oven. But, you know, you got what I meant.
I did. Yeah, okay, I got you. It's where are they going here?
20.
What are they doing here? Well, coming up next, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we'll catch up with Mark McMillan. We'll be going grilling with McMillan as we are out here at Wright Toyota. They got a lot of folks out here to come out with the great specials. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B out here at Wright Toyota right here on Fox Sports 910.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free stations like Freeform Radio. Search Freeform Radio and listen now on your free iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Duke's, because there's only one Duke's. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Shuts it.
Don't let prostate cancer sideline you. Early detection can save lives. Talk to Arizona urology specialists about getting screened. Arizona Urology Specialists. Personal care for life's most personal issues. Visit ArizonaURO.com or call 602-887-2160.
Broadcasting from the Rappy Law Group Studios. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
Suns are reportedly set to hire former Bucks coach Mike Budenholzer as their next head coach, replacing Frank Vogel, who was fired after 1 year. Rookie minicamp opened today for the Cardinals. The practices will run through the weekend until Sunday. The team also reportedly signing wideout Zay Jones. He spent the last 2 seasons with the Jaguars. Former USC forward Brandon Gardner is transferring to ASU. GCU is set to join the West Coast Conference beginning in 2025. And the D-backs are in Baltimore for a 3-game weekend series. Brandon Fox starts today. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword WIN at foxsports910.com. That's WIN at foxsports910.com.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, now playing only in theaters.
This is the Parker and Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
Look for another nice day to end our work week. Temperatures today, 91 degrees, mostly sunny skies. Tonight, we'll see those overnight lows dipping into the mid-60s with clear skies. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Suzuki Law.
If you've been in an accident or accused of a crime, 2 words.
I think you just got to call him Mark, though.
I'm Richard Suzuki, and my
you're not on that basis with him as
lawyers and investigators will fight for you. One call.
Oh, okay. Then I think it's allowed.
0-0-0-0. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Roth. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrow.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Hour number 2 of Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B out here at Wright Toyota. I'm Dan Manuch alongside Jackson Groff. And he's Chris Schubert back there at the iHeartRadio studios. We are here till 4 o'clock. But joining us now on the Wright Toyota guest line is a Emmy Award-winning, 8-year NFL veteran of the Eagles and Chiefs. He's a record holder. He was a 1990 All-Madden team guy. He also is the pre, post, halftime, you name it, Las Vegas Raiders analyst. And on top of that, folks, he's a phenomenal chef. You know him as Mark McMillan. As we go grilling with McMillan, Mark, it's Manuch alongside Jax. How you doing this afternoon?
What's going on?
We're doing.
I like that.
You like that? You like that Emmy Award-winning Mighty Mac?
Yeah, I like that, man. A lot of people really don't know that. People just remember me as playing football, but I did win an Emmy Award for our Little Big Man show back in Philly. That was part of the Randall Cunningham show. Now, Randall didn't win the Emmy. Me and my guy, Jeff Sider, we won the Emmy, and we were featured in Sports Illustrated that year as well.
Well, I got to tell you, Jackson Groff here, my sidekick filling in for Roc and Jimmy B, played in your blue-gray game several years ago. And I said, what kind of coach was Mighty Mac? He said he loved being there. But Jackson, enlighten us on what that experience was like.
Yeah, I mean, probably don't remember. 6 years ago, Dallas. It was unbelievable. AT&T Stadium, Mighty Mac, and what you did for the Blue-Gray American game. Appreciate it. It was definitely a core memory that I'll never forget for sure.
Oh, man, I definitely appreciate it. I was just like a laid-back coach, man. I let the guys handle their business. I had a really good track record there in Dallas. So I had a chance to coach some really good young men, and to be able to hear, one of my players is actually doing radio and doing fine, man. That's awesome, man. So we definitely got to link up, man. Now you're probably old enough. We could probably have a cold beverage.
Hey, we could. And I got to ask you, Mark, because you're a chef. I'm 24 years old, and the guys on the show make fun of me all the time because I'm single, and I'm not very good with the ladies. I'm trying to get into cooking. What advice, as a chef, what can I cook to kind of give me some more brownie points if I were to bring a date over to the house and make some food?
Well, first of all, let me cook it, and then you just prep it like you made it.
Say no
and
more.
Then you'll be shoot in. But 24 single in Arizona, something ain't going right for you, my man. But I got a barbecue pool party at the Hotel Valley Hill coming up in a couple of weeks. If you attend that pool party, you won't be single for long.
Done deal.
Great
That is
promotion right
absolutely
there.
done deal. Well, speaking of events you have coming up tomorrow, Grilling with McMillan, the barbecue short rib pizza wine pairing from 2 to 5 p.m. at the Humble Bistro. I believe that's in Gilbert. Is that correct? The Humble Bistro?
Yeah.
Now,
the Humble Bistro. Humble Bistro in Gilbert. I have some of my guys out there. Some of the E&E will be there. Eric Kennard will be there. Eric Swan will be there as well. I'm trying to get Manuch to one of these events, man, but I know he's busy with these quarterbacks trying to get their arms right. But, man, ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of pizza, man.
Sure.
Let your quarterbacks have a little time off. Come on, get some of this barbecue short rib pizza with some of the proceeds going back to my Lift Foundation for kids that's been harassed and bullied, as well as Ryan House here in Phoenix for the Hospice Care Center for kids. So all the money that's going to be raised is going all month. So the whole month of May, we're doing a barbecue short rib pizza that with the proceeds going back to the foundation. So we're excited about that. So you can go to both location Humble Bistros, but tomorrow from 2 to 5, man, I'm gonna be in there slinging dough, putting short rib on pizza. Hopefully I don't burn myself putting the pizza in the oven.
well, and talk about Lyft real quick. What motivated you for kids being harassed and bullied? Where did that come from?
Just coaching. Obviously we know coaching is way more than just X's and O's, and you know that firsthand, Manuch. A lot of these kids are looking for just to be part of a team, and I think sports is a really good outlet for these kids to express themselves. Normally, if a kid's not in the sports, man, it's in this day and age, it's kind of hard because social media is so brutal, and just trying to get these kids and uplift them. So this would be my 4th year doing my Camp 29 back in Lancaster, Pennsylvania on the 22nd. So this will be our 4th year. I'm going back in a couple of weeks. We're putting a friendship bench in a youth school, which is a bench where kids can go and hang out that's been harassed and bullied, and kids kind of know if you're around that bench area, something is not right. So everybody kind of rallies around that young man or that young woman. So I'm huge on anti-bullying, man, because I see it way too often on social media, as well as when I was coaching as well.
He's Mark McMillan, former 8-year NFL vet with the Eagles and the Chiefs. What an accomplishment to be the 1990 make the All-Madden team. That's huge in itself. But you're also in Las Vegas pretty much full-time. You're the halftime and post-game analyst there on TV in Las Vegas. And we were just talking about the Raiders quarterback scenario. And as your general manager, Tom Telesco, was talking about, it looks like O'Connell and Minshew are going to fight it out. Were you surprised they didn't draft anybody in higher rounds there in Las Vegas?
I think everybody was surprised. You're a quarterback, you're QB1 too. I'm sure you're like, man, you look at all the weapons that they have. They just signed recently Myron Guyton, former Charger as well. He got drafted by the Chargers, who's a speedster guy. You still got Devontae Adams, young Zaire, the running back from Georgia, stepping up. You got Meyer last year, the tight end. And then they get the big guy from Georgia, this year.
Brock Bowers.
Bowers, who's everybody's like, why would they not drop the tight end? This is the guy you can't miss on. Like if I don't care what position you need, if you see a Bowers on your draft board available, you grab a generational talent like that, especially the way the game is played right now. This guy can play in the backfield. Being from Alabama, I saw this guy way too many times in the end zone against our secondary. So he's a great pick, and Minshew and Aiden's going to battle it out in training camp. And hopefully, now a lot of people hoping that Aiden, matured a little bit over the offseason, that he can, handle the reins of the offense. And we're just going to see how it plays out, man, because that guy down in L.A., Mr. Khaki Pants, is building something special down there with some sharks.
He sure is. But you got to be happy in the draft. You got 4 defensive players in the draft there, Mac. You got to be feeling pretty good about that.
Yeah, they went defense. They needed, they lost some young guys in the secondary. I know Nate Hobbs is a really good defensive back who's in his final year. They lost Amik Robbins, who was a smaller guy like me, but a really tough-minded. He fit that Raider mystique, and he led the team in interceptions the last 2 years. So to see him kind of go, and he went to Detroit. Their secondary is so stacked. They're going to be good for a while, man. But the Raiders did draft on the defensive side of the ball. They got Wilkerson, obviously, from the Dolphins in the offseason. So they did some really good things on the defensive side of the ball as well.
What's Antonio Pierce like on a personal level?
3.
I know you're there covering the team and stuff, but seeing him in a head coaching role, what's he like behind closed doors?
Just like us talking on the radio. He likes to play dominoes. He likes to talk trash. He likes to roll up on his 6'4" with his with his spinners on his wheels. And he's just a good dude, man. And obviously, he's got an opportunity to be in some really good company. When you get the head coaching job for the Raiders, that comes with a whole bunch of responsibility. And obviously, he's a California kid. He's a Raider through and through. So we'll see how it plays out. I know he got the nod from Max Crosby, who's probably one of the best defensive players I saw play in a long time. I thought he should have been the defensive player of the year because this guy has a motor that doesn't stop. So I think Pierce will do well. He's got some veteran guys. He brought in Marvin Lewis, behind the scenes to kind of help him out as well. So we'll see how it plays out. But, you still got to play the game.
Mac, one more time. Give us all that you got going down. Tomorrow, Grill and McMillan, barbecue, short rib pizza, and wine pairing from 2 to 5 at Humble Bistro in Gilbert, with proceeds benefiting the LIFT program for kids being harassed and bullied and Ryan House. And then break down what also you have going on coming up here in June as well.
June, we got for Memorial Weekend, we got the Grill and McMillan Chef Russell barbecue pool party at the Hotel Valley Ho, man. So we're excited about that. I got my guy Jermaine Dye, World Series MVP, that'll be in the house. My guy Frank Sanders will be in the house as well. We'll have live DJs. We got cabanas that's still available. Man, the menu is going to be off the chain. We got sticky spare ribs, mezcal watermelon. We got elote corn. We got barbecue shrimp.
1 minute.
We got it all, man. So they're using my barbecue sauce and my spices. And also we'll have some raffle items as well. And the money that we raised from this week, from the Memorial Weekend, will go back to the LIFT Foundation and Ryan House. So, man, hopefully we can raise a ton of money that will be able to help out these programs and continue to do it through food. So if you're a chef, or if you're single, or if you're married, if you're married, you got to come out with some shades on, because I heard the Memorial Pool Party, they're expecting 400 to 500 people a day in that pool area. So it's going to be off the chain, man. And I will be on the grill grilling too.
And here's the thing, Jax. We've been on the air almost 20 years, Mac, coming up here in September, Rock and I. And so, Jax, when Mac started all this Grill with McMillan, all his stuff about, 10, 12 years ago, see, we've been promoting him so much that the commission checks we're supposed to be getting, they must be going to the charities because we're not seeing them. So that's great. As long as
it's for a good cause.
Yeah, it's for a good cause. As long as we get the benefit of the write-off, Mac, then we'll know those commission checks are going somewhere.
Hey, Manuch, come on out, man. Hang out in my cabana. No charge. You get free food, free drinks. Everything will be on me, and I'll make sure you walk away with some Grill and McMillan spices. No charge. Just come out and hang out in the cabana.
You know what?
Shades on.
And I'll be good to buy it. Hey, real quick, how do we track all this information down? Where should people go?
They can go to hotelvalleyho.com, and you can get your day passes. You can get a cabana. We have a 20% off if you go online. If you need to have a room, because we don't want people drinking and driving.
Sure.
Just use the code GRILLIN, and you get 20% off your room rate. So the discount code is called GRILLIN, not grilling, GRILLIN, and you get 20% off. Hotel Valley Ho, Memorial Weekend. Come on out, man. sticky ribs, charred steak, deviled egg potato salad. Come on, chicken wings. It's going to be on.
Oh, Mac, we are so proud of you. You're doing a great job. Good to see you. You're growing as you got that grill in McMillan. Thank you so much for coming up with the time. We'll be tracking you down during the summer as all the events continue to go on.
All right. Appreciate you guys, man, and keep up the awesome work. And continue to good success with you and Carrie Taylor, man. I love what you guys are doing for the youth kids and those young ladies, too.
Thank you, Mac. Appreciate it. You can also reach him on Twitter at Mark McMillan 29. Hey, you can bet the game, watch the game. The Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. They have 3 live betting windows and 6 self-service betting kiosks, plus 8 screens displaying all the betting lines. Check it out for yourself. Open daily from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Well, coming up next, it's our Learn and Row One Call, That's All, as well as there's a new coach supposedly coming to the Phoenix Suns. This is Fox Sports 910 and now on 99.9 FM HD3 as we are live from Wright Toyota.
Clear. In the fast lane of life, your fuel should keep up. Time to check out G2G protein bars, your ultimate grab-and-go meal replacement. Whether it's a workday, gym session, or navigating daily chaos, G2G has got you covered. Find them now at your local Costco in the refrigerated section, or explore all 8 fantastic flavors at G2GBar.com. Great tasting and packed with protein, so keep pace with life in the fast lane with G2G protein bars.
Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar on the southeast corner of Cave Creek in the 101. Happy hour 7 days a week, 4 to 7, with $5.50 house wines and well drinks, $4.75 drafts, plus tons of food specials. Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar.
A homeowner just like you decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, has been cooling their customers for over 35 years. Fogco provides their customers with results that exceed their expectations, with reliable misting and fogging solutions that you can count on all summer long. Head to fogco.com.
There's something that binds us all, the constant hunger to improve. It's
a Friday. No, I'm not doing it.
Every detail.
You want
reward of a custom fitting taking
What do you want?
to a whole new level. We're all bound by 2 words said by golfers worldwide. Schedule.
Oh, I have something totally different.
Golf shop.
I have Donovan Mitchell buzzer beater, so you can segue into basketball.
WideGolf.com. Get there.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
We can talk about how the Suns are just shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic.
Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G.
That's what they can't, Manuch. They can't go get dudes.
You get to choose who joins your family.
He can't.
$25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
They
have to.
More savings. Switch to Straight Talk.
They're going to need to use that 23, is it 23, wherever they're picking?
It's at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit
No. I already got the guy. Stand by.
All on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future.
Just draft Tyler Kolek.
May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions.
He's a senior in college, point guard.
CarlisleLPGA.com.
He's 23 years old.
Be there.
It's the Learner and Row. One call, that's all.
They could also take Devin Carter. I just don't know if he's going to be there.
You're looking for a full-service law firm. Just make one call. That's all.
The 4-letter network, Aspen.
1900. Learner and Row, voted Arizona's best law firm.
Cavaliers up 9 when Mobley went out with his 4th foul. Up 9 here. 2 seconds left. Mitchell gets it off. You bet. Donovan Mitchell at the horn.
Thank you to ESPN is at our Learner and Row one call. That's it. Donovan Mitchell last night, 29 points, hit 5 out of 7 free throws in last night's game as they go on and beat the Celtics 118-94.
Imagine losing a home game, Boston. Imagine doing that. Knicks are up 2-0. They play game 3 tonight.
Oh, you got to love that in reference to that. Interact, need a check, make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. And always at learnerandroad.com. They can help get a free consultation. Again, one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. How about the Celtics giving up 64 points in the second half on top of everything? Yeah, so much for cruising through. I'd love to see the Cavs take that bad boy to 7 games.
Yeah, look at these stats for you. Third quarter three-point shooting was definitely the turning point of last night's game. Cleveland was 7 of 10 from 3, Boston 0 of 8. The whole entire second half, Donovan Mitchell had 23 points, 8 of 13 from the field, 5 of 6 from three-pointer. The Celtics starters had the same amount of points, 7 of 25, 0 of 13. You live or die from the 3, and last night they definitely dead from the 3.
Well, we're going to see how if the Phoenix Suns can rise, pardon the pun, from the ashes after the 4-game sweep by Minnesota Timberwolves. Reportedly, looks as though Mike Budenholzer is going to be the new head coach for the Phoenix Suns to the tune of about 8 figures per year. Maybe it's Monty Williams kind of money in Detroit, maybe $12-13 million per year. But the debate we've been having here, folks, in between the break here is, okay, so he's got the big 3. He's got Grayson Allen. Okay, so now what? Now where do you go? If you're going to take this team to a new level, to the quarterfinals, to the semifinals, or whatever that means, what are they going to do? How are they going to do it? Are they going to be forced to use those draft choices? Are they going to be forced to do anything in particular? But they don't have what you guys are saying. They don't have any room, to do anything in particular, to go out and get anybody to enhance, I don't know, a backup point guard or anybody coming off the bench.
Yeah, they are in a very, very, very bad spot because they don't have a lot of flexibility. They're paying their big 3 a lot of money. They're paying Grayson Allen $70 million. And now, listen, that's not to say Grayson Allen isn't worth the contract that they gave him. He's a very good player. That extension is warranted. But because of what they're paying everybody else, they just don't have a lot of options for them to go. They're already too deep into the luxury tax to be able to make any real movement. So they can't combine, still have to sign Royce O'Neal. And if they do that, that's going to add to their tax charge for 2024. They really only have a couple of the vet min exemptions that they can use to add players to this team. So I think people who think this is going to be a massive overhaul and there's going to be a ton of just brand new, really good players that they're going to be able to have to round out this team, that's just not going to happen. They are going to improve this team on the margins. Jax and I were actually texting during the show yesterday. I think somebody who makes a ton of sense at point guard, Spencer Dinwiddie's going to be available. He's not going to cost you a lot of money. He could be one of those vet min guys that could come in and be on this team. But guys, they face an uphill battle. They're going to have to use their draft pick this year to get somebody in here to help with their rotation. They're going to use a couple of those veteran minimum exemptions that they have to add some players to this team. But unless they make the decision, guys, to trade Kevin Durant or Devin Booker, this team is going to look very, very similar to the way that it did in 2024. And so that's why they got a new coach. But it really just feels like they're moving deck chairs on the Titanic. That's what this feels like to me.
It leads me to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day. For a free quote, repair, or installation, head to state40roofing.com and follow them on social media by searching hashtag #SexyRoofStatus. What do you expect from the Suns with the big 3 coming back with a new head coach? We assume it's going to be Mike Budenholzer. So, again, what do you expect from the Suns with the big 3 all coming back and a new head coach? Just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. Do you expect an NBA title? Do you expect a Western Conference title, making it to the semifinal, or are you looking to make it to the quarterfinal? Right now, folks, the tally is make it to the quarterfinal at 42.9%. Tied at 19% across the board is NBA title, Western Conference title, make it to the semifinal. I voted, okay, I'm a Suns fan. I'm the eternal optimist. Western Conference title at 19%. That's how I voted.
I'm going to say quarterfinal. I agree with what Shu said. I got to see some movement here with what they want to do. I do like how it came out that Matt Ishbia wants some more guys in the front office to even observe James Jones, what's been going on, him and James Jones, and the movement there. But I got to ask you, Shu, because you said they have to sign Royce O'Neal.
Well, they don't have to.
That's what I was saying. I don't think they should. $18 million on the cap. I think you could get maybe 2 or 3 players. You could get 2 at $8 to $10 million, maybe even less, 5 to 10, instead of paying one guy, Royce O'Neal, who was nowhere to be found in the postseason.
Yeah, the levers that they have to pull are very few and far between. And so if you choose to not bring back Royce O'Neal, you're just creating another hole for yourself that you have to fill with those limited resources. And Manuch, I'm not making fun of your poll question. I think it's a great poll question, but I asked this question honestly. Is it wrong of me to think that my expectations should be just to make the playoffs for this team in 2024? Because I think if you expect any more than that from this group, you are setting yourself up to be disappointed. And I'm not going to do that again. We spent months on this show on end. Oh, don't worry. When the big three is back, when they're all healthy, watch this team. They're going to just be in the mix in the Western Conference. Watch out. Just wait. They'll make some moves at the deadline. They're going to be in the mix. They're going to be competing with all of these teams. Just wait. Wait till the playoffs. They're going to get super hot. Never happened. And so I'm not going to do that again. If you're going to run back the same team, basically going to run back the same team and rely on those big three to carry you to whatever heights you are going to get to, Manuch, I'm moving my expectations. My expectations are this team will probably make the playoffs. And then from there, everything else that happens is gravy. I am not going to say, oh, they're going to the Western Conference Finals. I think that's setting myself up for disappointment.
Yeah, it seems there are a lot of folks that have voted. Again, just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. 42.9% folks are feeling the same way, I think. They understand that, okay, Mike Budenholzer can come in. He's an offensive guy. Defense will hopefully figure itself out with whomever his assistants are. He's always had a pretty good assistant staff when he had in Milwaukee. But, I look at that and I go, okay, I guess sometimes my heart gets in the way as versus my head. I think for a lot of us, true Suns fans, because I think right now, and I agree with you, Shu, I think we were like, okay, this team, they've got the tools, defensive-minded coach, they got KD, they got Book, they got, Bradley Beal, blah, 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 blah. Grayson, he can shoot. Man, these guys are Western Conference Finals or bust. But little did we know that they would have so many turnovers. They'd have hardly any scoring from your bench. So I think that the eternal optimist to me for Suns fans, I realize that. I just hope at some point moves are made at least the next couple, 2-3 years. And I would imagine the Budenholzer's probably going to sign, what do you think, guys, a good 5-year contract at least to make it worth his while. But 8 figures, they're going to have to help him on the court. So, hey, James Jones, be forewarned. I don't care what kind of shuffling of the deck in the front office is going on. You got to get this team some help.
And that's fine, Manuch. You can lead with your heart, and you can say that you want, you think their expectations are to make it to the semis or the quarters. You just have to internally accept the expectations that you're putting on this team, and don't be disappointed when it doesn't happen. I'm learning from the lesson of this past season and saying, if you're going to run back basically the same exact team, then I'm going to say, okay, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be in the mix for the 5 or 6 seed, potentially be in the play-in game, and then we'll go from there. But that's all my expectations are going to be for this team for 2024.
Yeah, then you got to think, too, every Western Conference team is going to get better. Memphis with John Morant, what do they look like next year? Houston, and what they're building is kind of the same formula we're seeing with Minnesota, Denver, and OKC.
Hey, folks, let's let you know that Twin Peaks has got 5 Valley locations. They're your sports headquarters for all NBA and NHL playoff action, and also fight nights at all of the Valley locations. You got UFC Fight Night Lewis versus Nascimento tomorrow. You also got Dazn, D-A-Z-N, I believe that's how you say it, Hernandez versus Lugo, and that'll be tomorrow night. And then coming up next weekend, another UFC Fight Night, Barbosa versus Murphy, and then also boxing. It looks like, Usyk versus Tyson Fury. Did I say that right? Usyk versus Tyson Fury. So, fight nights.
I'm surprised there that you went with Usyk instead of just saying Alexander Usyk, that you felt comfortable with his last name, not his first name. I'm impressed there. That's impressive.
That's the Czechoslovakian coming out inside of me. So, all 5 Valley locations at Twin Peaks again tomorrow night and the next weekend. In June, they've got all kinds of fights also being going on. So, just stay tuned. So, all your 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. Well, coming up, sports handicapper Scott Spreitzer of DocSports.com. as he handicaps some of this week NBA playoff games. As you're listening to Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B right here on Fox Sports 910 live from Wright Toyota.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
The Suns reportedly set to hire former Bucks head coach Mike Budenholzer as the replacement for the fired Frank Vogel. USC transfer Brandon Gardner is committed to ASU. He medically redshirted during his freshman season, but was a four-star recruit in the 2024 class. Starting with the 25-26 school year, Grand Canyon will join the West Coast Conference. Brandon Fox scheduled for the D-backs as they play the Orioles in Baltimore today. He's gone 6 starts without a victory. And former Jaguars wide receiver Zay Jones is signing with the Cardinals. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Oh, yeah, by the Carlisle companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Brought to you by the Carlisle companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you can go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
Hey everyone, it's Joe Montana. Spreading the word about pneumococcal pneumonia, a potentially serious bacterial lung disease that can be life-threatening. If you're 65 or older like me, you're at increased risk. So, what's the game plan? A strong defense. Pneumococcal pneumonia can strike at any time, in any season, so you shouldn't wait to help protect yourself. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about vaccination today and learn more at knowpneumonia.com. That's KNOW pneumonia.com.
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Stop letting your bladder call the shots. Talk to Arizona urology specialists about frequent urination and take control today. Arizona Urology Specialists. Personal care for life's most personal issues. Visit ArizonaURO.com or call 602-887-2160.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Now, sports gamblers, Scott Spreitzer, one of the leaders and most trusted names in the country. Nobody watches and studies games more than he does. From DocSports.com, here's Scott Spreitzer exclusively on with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910. You're hot.
That's right. He joins us here on the You Right Toyota guest line, Scott Spreitzer. You can reach him at Scott Wins. Scotty, it's Manuch alongside Jax because Roc is on assignment. He had to go back to North Carolina to cover this big golf tournament they got back there. So somebody had to do it. So we allowed Roc, he went kicking and screaming, trust me, to go into this one.
He's got such a tough life. My gosh, I feel so bad for him.
Hey, real quick, we're talking about the Paul and Tyson fight coming up here early summer. And I just wonder if there's any prop bets out for right now, because I was going, okay, how long can Mike Tyson last? And kind of, there's got to be something maybe before or after with prop bets more so than anything. But mine is, heck, I'd bet on how long Mike Tyson will last versus him.
Yeah, right now, the only thing out there is Jake Paul, favorite to win the fight of minus around 210 to 220. So you'd have to put, $220 on Jake Paul to win 100. So He's the favorite right now, but I haven't seen any props yet. They'll be coming, I'm guessing, in the next couple of weeks with the fight being in July. But, yeah, they're, so far. And by the way, this opened a good $1.80 or so. So the money that has come in thus far has been on Jake Paul.
Scott, we always talk basketball and football, but I'm curious, do you ever partake in golf sports betting? And with the PGA Championship next week, what are you hearing about? I mean, Scotty Scheffler with the opportunity possibly of withdrawing with his wife having a baby, if it's not this week, next week. How would you approach, I guess, a major championship like that, a PGA Championship, if you do indulge in sports betting?
And Scott, and just so you know, that's just prior to you're giving him free before he goes to his DraftKings. So advise wisely, would you please?
Well, I could give you the best advice coming from me. I'm going to bring in a name here that's going to give you an example of what I do with golf. You guys remember the baseball player Kevin Mitchell?
Yes.
15, 20. All right. So Kevin Mitchell was a good baseball player, no doubt about it. Then he went to a baseball game upon his retirement, and he said that was the most boring thing, 2 or 3 hours I've spent in my life watching a baseball game. So having said that, I love playing golf. I don't handicap it in golf.
Come back. Hold on.
Oh, he's going to give us a great answer.
Yeah,
too.
he was. We'll call him right back. Yeah, he was on a roll there. I think that the road he was going down is how boring baseball games can be. You sit there for 2 or 3 hours.
I think the Scotty Scheffler thing's interesting for sports bettors because if he just has one shot, if one time it makes contact with that ball, the bet's played. So if he withdraws because of the pregnancy with Meredith, and yes, it's obviously the right move, it's going to be interesting to see how sportsbooks plan that, depending if it's after the first round, second, third, and fourth, because he's the odds-on favorite to win by a long shot at plus 300.
So Scheffler is not playing this weekend.
He's not playing this weekend in hopes of Meredith. It seems like she's been pregnant for like 15 months.
We got him back. We got Scott. Hey, Scott, don't be afraid to pay your phone bill once in a while, would you please? What the heck?
It's kind of scary when a Las Vegas bettor is not paying his phone bills, isn't it? It's kind of funny because I just started talking about approaching golf, and I was going to say that, I'm kind of like Kevin Mitchell was back in the day. He is a good baseball player, loved playing the game, and then when he retired, he watched the game from the seats, and he said it was the most boring 3 hours he's had in his life. Now, I don't want to say that badly about golf because I like certain events, majors, but I just don't handicap it anymore because I don't follow it closely enough. And I love to play the game, but I can't handle watching golf on TV. And so I thought about it. I got a couple of guys in my betting circle who are great at golf, and I let them send me plays.
He's Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. You can also tweet him at Scott Wins. All right, Scott, let's get to some NBA playoff games tonight. The Knicks at the Pacers. Pacers 7.5-point favorite. Last time I looked, the over-under was at 222.5. Is it still about there?
Yeah, right now you're looking at this number's been kind of bouncing around. Indiana's been 7 down to 6.5. Right now, most of the books have 7. A couple of joints in Las Vegas have 6.5. The total sitting at 222, guys, as we talk this afternoon. And what I did in this game is I jumped on Indiana -5 in the first half, and it's up to 5.5 in most books. Might have come down a little bit in a couple of those books that have gone 6.5 full game. We've seen the Pacers attack out of the blocks in the first half of both games in this series. 6 and 10-point leads at the break, both games in New York. And then Halliburton stopped shooting, and the Kings roared back. And maybe Halliburton was bothered by that sore back. He's playing tonight, but again, it's not easy getting over a back issue because it could flare up at any time. But I do believe, just like the first 2 games of this series, he's going to be good in the first half, and you got to be concerned over the final 2 quarters. And then, the Knicks are battered and bruised. OG and Anunoby's gone. That's something to think about, by the way, full game. The Knicks are 26-5 straight up, 20-11 against the spread when Anunoby plays since he came to New York. They're 13-14 straight up without him, 12-15 against the number. And their point differential, which I'm not the first one to talk about this, is almost +10 per game when he plays. It's all the way down to 1.5 points when he doesn't play. So I think the Pacers come out fighting in the first half. I like them to jump out early, and I laid the 5 in the first half.
Scott, one of the most shocking series right now in the NBA playoffs, Nuggets at Timberwolves. And I thought it was fascinating, Scott. I'm sure you followed this too. Before the series, the Nuggets were -240 to win this series against the Timberwolves. Timberwolves +200. Now the Nuggets are +440. Timberwolves minus 650 heavy favorite. Timberwolves being a 3.5-point favorite. Over unders 204.5. Where are you leaning on this one?
Yeah, I liked the Nuggets at 4.5 last night overnight, that it came down, as you mentioned, today to 3.5. And so far, and this doesn't mean it's going to win, but the Nuggets have been the sharp side as it's gone and dropped a point already. Here's a couple of notes on this one. When the season began, I really thought that maybe Minnesota was a season away from getting this deep into the playoffs. And then, of course, as they've done, had no trouble with Denver in the first two games. But they've proven me wrong because they're ready right now. But if you look at 2-seed underdogs, Denver in this case, 26-11 spread run in the second round of playoff action, and 2-seed road teams have covered at a 58% clip going back to 2017, not including the bubble year. And I think Denver is going to get that victory tonight, guys. Jamal Murray got 3 days off. These guys haven't played since Monday, so plenty of time to rest the calf. KCP, we've heard some talk that he's going to be
3
the shot in this game. And then if I'm going to fan, one group is off between games. The way that they finally, it's noteworthy that NBA teams are both sides of 18.
We'll just hold for a second.
And lost the last 24 as a favorite.
Nope, I'm dropping them.
Yeah, we got to drop them. We're having a trouble with the
the phone bill,
with the connection. It might be his hamsters that need to be fed, because that's a landline that we're tracking him down. The last one here, the last couple here, Jax, the Thunder at the Mavericks again. This was at 3.5 last night, minus 2.5, and the over/under at 219.5 on that tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's an interesting series. Last night, another good, excellent playoff performance, 29, 10, and 10. I thought Kyrie's passing was definitely evident, but you're starting to see some role players chip in, like Tim Hardaway Jr. and PJ Washington last night. I got to ask you guys this too. Is Mark Cuban one of the greatest NBA trade deadline all-star break traders, I guess, of all time? Because you remember last year he got Kyrie Irving. This year they had Grant Williams to trade him out and get PJ Washington. They got Gafford. They look different, but this series is going to be great. I kind of lean towards Dallas being the home team in that one.
Yeah, and again, you look at, they needed that win, is what they definitely needed, that win with OKC, being on the road, that young group of guys taking on this experienced Mavericks team. Last one before we go to break here, the Celtics minus 7.5 versus the Cavs tomorrow night. Over/under is 212.5. Again, they might a little sting after the Cavs beat them last night.
Yeah, I think they bounce back. 7.5's a lot. I'd kind of lean towards maybe a first half line, and I'm sure Scott, I'm interested to see what he would have said here. But Celtics last night not shooting well. I don't think they shoot that bad for the rest of the series. I like them 7.5.
Well, the thing I like about it is that you have a Cavaliers team that beat the Boston Celtics in the Garden. Boston Garden on top of everything. What's interesting about that game is the Celtics jumped up to like a 12-2, 14-2 lead from the get-go, and you're like, oh my gosh, they're at home, they're on a roll, they're gonna drive this thing home, but they give up 64 points. I've been the Celtics to the Cavaliers, and Donovan Mitchell et al. They just flat went off. And that game there, when you look at the 212.5 is the over/under. I don't know. I think that's low myself. I mean, if I was going to bet that, I'd probably go with the over on that, because I think that this team, there's always one of those games that you have, and I think the Thunder Mavericks are like this, and this Celtics and Cavs game, I think that you're going to see some high-scoring affairs in tomorrow night's games, just because they kind of fill each other out. That second or third game is when teams get a little more comfortable.
Yeah, we had Casey on earlier, and he was talking about how the first round there was a lot of unders. And yeah, you made a great point. For someone that doesn't sports bet,
Casey Walsh, who is what now?
Casey Walsh is CAZ Sportsbook. But I was saying for you don't sports bet, and that was actually a good point there for the 212.5. It all depends on the Celtics, and for the Cavs, if he can get help being Donovan Mitchell with Evan Mobley, I definitely agree the over should hit.
Hey, coming up next, it's Football 50 and today's random fact of the day. That's all next on Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, right here on Fox Sports 910 live from Wright Toyota.
Need an all-in-one wireless copier and printer or IT help for your business? Call Document Solutions of the Valley.
And I reset the phones in between calls.
Solutions company for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Document Solutions is leading the Valley in business solutions for copier and IT service. They'll support your business no matter how big or small. Take advantage of either buying, leasing, or renting many makes and models of copiers. For a free quote, call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
You ever have a case of the Mondays?
You won't if you tune in to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from 1 till 4 as they broadcast live from the CAZ Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. That's every Monday from Casino, Arizona.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal cases when you guys are a personal injury law firm? The answer is simple. We're good at it. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is a separate law firm from Lerner & Rowe Injury Attorneys. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Hey, it's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. You know us for delicious family dinners and huge party pizzas. But did you know we are great at feeding a large group too? Our full catering menu has a ton of variety, so everyone will find something they love. And the best part, we don't charge per head. Just tell us how many people you need to feed, and we'll handle the rest. Check out our catering menu at venezias.com. That's venezias.com. Venezias, a family and catering tradition.
In this week's Marketers Report, Angela Zepeda, CMO Hyundai Motor America, talks about audio storytelling.
People scratch their heads and say, why would you put your brand on a channel that doesn't show the sheet metal? But for us, it's about storytelling. That's driving a lot of brand awareness, but we can also drive a lot of intent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the influencers, audiences, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ziprecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Let's get ready for football!
It's football at 50. The latest top football story trending this hour. Right here with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910, your iHeart Radio app.
All right, Cardinal fans, looks like you've got a new receiver in town. One Zay Jones, who was here interviewing, what would you say, Jax? Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah, I think it was Monday.
Yeah, and then he went off to Dallas, and he visited, Kansas City,
Dallas, and Tennessee.
And he is now officially an Arizona Cardinal, and it looks like they got him on the cheap as well. What kind of numbers are we looking at here?
Yeah, 1-year deal worth up to $4.25 million, which tells you with incentives he can make that money, which I think is a steal. This signed a 3-year, $24 million deal with the Jaguars. You get him in here, veteran guy, possession wide receiver. And I'm interested to see, Shu, you're an NFL draft guy. You remember him from 2017. You've seen him in the NFL. What are your thoughts about Zay Jones and how you see him in this offense?
Yeah, this team needed a veteran wide receiver presence, right? I think everyone's excited about the potential of what Marvin Harrison Jr. can be. I think everyone's excited about the year 2 jump that Michael Wilson can take in this offense. But you need somebody that is reliable, that has proven NFL success, to where if Marvin Harrison Jr. hits a bump in the road or Michael Wilson can't stay on the field, right? He had some injuries that plagued him last year. You need that veteran, reliable presence to help round out a wide receiver room. And this offense going into next season is Kyler Murray at quarterback, James Conner at running back, Marvin Harrison Jr., Zay Jones, Michael Wilson, and Trey McBride. This team looks a lot different from when it did a year ago.
Yeah, and I think that the point you're reliable, can catch the football, runs great routes. I mean, currently, if I look at the receiving core right now, I've got Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, and Trey McBride. That's pretty good. You had Zach Pascal, Greg Dortch, Chris Moore as your backups. I think that is a good group of receivers and good depth on top of it. But the one thing you said, Shu, reliable and can catch the football.
I think it's pretty funny, too, how last year the Arizona Cardinals, I think their average wide receiver height was 5'9", 5'10". This year, you've got 6'3". So now you're starting to get those big targets for one Kyler Murray, who needs to be able to see at least a head or some dreads or something over that offensive line.
Greg Dortch is on, maybe 5'10"-ish, maybe. He's pushing 5'10".
He's taller than Jimmy, yeah. 5'7".
Yes, well, Jimmy's about 5'3", if that. Now, the one thing, don't forget about Trey Benson coming out of the backfield too, folks. If you got a passing package in the game, you got Trey Benson in there for James Conner. There's another weapon right there. So you could have 4 wide, 5 wide, and Benson could be incorporated into that. So let's not forget about that as well, too. So the offensive line holds up. To your point, if Kyler Murray can drop back in the pocket and read the defense, he's going to have a lot of weapons, a lot of experience. And, guys, you got your home run hitter in Marvin Harrison. I'd say that, you look at Wilson. He's one of those quasi-home run hitters from that standpoint.
If he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy. And I think that from that, it's going to help this team even more.
So I asked you guys, we look at the roster right now. We just had NFL free agency. We just had NFL draft. Another signing post-NFL draft. Do you guys see a one more position in need if they could add one more guy in this department? Or is this roster pretty much set for August?
I think they're set. I think they're good. I think Zay Jones was the last piece of the puzzle. I look at the depth. I look at the individuals, offensive line, quarterback. Ritter, I think, is still a question mark at quarterback. Clayton Tune, definitely a question mark. But I think they're set. I think if there was any other position that's anybody's available, it'd be a corner. But they're all set. They're pretty much – I think that they're good to go. I think Monty Ossenforth's done a good job of getting veterans, reliable guys, good character guys, and good hardworking guys. I think that's a tone. That's a route that they definitely want to go. Surprise, surprise, folks. Just out. Caleb Williams, the first-round pick of the Chicago Bears, will be your starting quarterback, Bear fans. Yeah.
I just stopped the music for that. What?
Yeah. Caleb Williams, head coach Matt Eberflus, took care of the obvious Friday, delivering a no-nonsense response when a reporter asked him, at this point, who is your starter quarterback? Hello? So he said, matter-of-factly, did I say matter-of-factly?
Matter-of-factly.
Caleb Williams is our guy. Next question. Wow, okay. So I'm surprised the reporter asked that. But in his defense, he just kind of wanted to know, with the outstanding backup quarterbacks you have in Chicago, will there be any competition?
Is that the kind of the answer you wanted to hear from Drew Petzing when he talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. and saying, he's got to work at it, he's got to earn his spot? Or did you kind of want to hear him say, yeah, he's our wide receiver?
Well, he said he's got to earn his stripes. That's what Drew Petzing said. The offensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals said, Marvin Harrison coming in here, this once-in-a-generation wide receiver, he's going to have to earn his stripes if he's going to start. Drew, okay? Don't insult our intelligence.
Throw your ego out the window.
Put the coach speak. I would have said, damn right he's our starting wide receiver. We didn't draft him 4th overall to have to earn a spot to start.
Yeah, you don't have to say wide receiver 1, but let's just solidify him as a starter there for the Arizona Cardinals. And Manuch, you mentioned the rookies. They signed 4 rookies, including linebacker Xavier Thomas, offensive tackle Christian Jones, wide receiver Tejon Palmer, and cornerback Jaden Davis. And they also just signed Tip Ryman, the rookie tight end who you're a fan of, Illinois, all dog. But did you know, Manuch, that on his off time, he does pottery.
Does he really?
Pottery. He said it's a good way to get gifts to his grandma, his mother, good wedding gifts. Just get some plates, some bowls, some pots.
Well, you set me up perfectly to segue. There might be some gifts being passed out as quarterback Jaden Daniels, who went 4 spots ahead of his LSU teammate Malik Neighbors in the draft. He's counting on finishing ahead of him and being named the NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. Otherwise, they both have a $10,000 bet. Whoever finishes behind the other is going to owe that. Now, this all occurred on The Pivot. It's a podcast with Ryan Clark. Daniels confirmed the wager during an interview on All Facts, No Breaks podcast with Keyshawn Johnson on Wednesday. So he said that to Ryan Clark. It could be one of those wagers that either one of those, whoever finishes second, is going to owe the other $10,000. Now, Daniels said, he said that? Well, basically, the cat's out of the bag. So the $10,000 is out there for either one of Neighbors or Daniels to see who finishes second will owe the other. A nice gift, probably about mid-January, of $10,000.
Yeah, and I think the Giants, both the Giants and Commanders, when they heard the word bet, had a heart attack. What kind of bet are we? Is this a friendly bet? Hopefully. Is this a bet on DraftKings with Jaden Daniels plus whatever odds and Malik Neighbors plus whatever odds? We put 10,000 on there because I know for sure that Malik Neighbors came out with some comments today saying, hey, whoa, guys, this is a friendly wager. I've learned from the NFL gambling policy. What do you have to say about
Thanks. I'm glad that we're learning the NFL gambling policy and we're not talking out loud about personal bets we might have with our friends who are also NFL players. Thanks. Hey, guys, can we play a couple games in the league first before we get maybe suspended for talking about gambling, please?
Yes.
I know it's all in good fun, but the NFL is probably going to look into this just a little bit.
Oh, here's a couple of our random facts.
Just calm down for like 6 weeks, guys, please.
Hey, these guys get their multi-million-dollar contracts. They're anxious, I guess, to give it away. Speaking of money that was given away, Babe Ruth acquired his 700th home run baseball by paying the fan who caught it
$10,000.
$20.
Excuse me?
Yeah, $20. He paid that fan for his 700th home run. That's something you go, wow. Nowadays, 700, or let's just say 700. It's probably at least 20, 25 grand plus season tickets, balls, bats, mitts, jerseys, you name it. Also, Pele is the only player to ever be a part of 3 different World Cup winning teams. So I do the math for that. 16 minimum years that Pele was that prominent as a soccer player. Cal Hubbard, here's a good trivia question for you guys. I'm sure both of you be out there partying hardy this weekend. Cal Hubbard is the only person in both the football and baseball Hall of Fame. This is the amazing fact of the day, folks. Brett Favre, Tom Brady, and Jerry Rice are the only 3 players that play more than 300 games, and they didn't play the kicking position.
Wow.
Talk about durability in those individuals as far as, think about that. They played 300 games apiece. I mean, especially Jerry Rice, being at that wide receiver position. But as you're a quarterback, as much as you get hit and knocked down, definitely some, I would just say some perseverance, endurance, and some durability in reference to all that. So that is our random fact of the day. One more. Just one more. You guys are both golfers. Well, Shu, are you a golfer?
Shu's definitely not a golfer.
Yes, of course.
Okay, all right.
What are you talking about? Yeah, I'm a golfer.
Well, I mean, you kind of preoccupied these coaching and.
Yeah, I'm a little busy.
You
Lately,
watch your F1 and your MLS soccer.
I haven't played in a while, but I do play.
Okay, I have never made a hole-in-one. Have you guys got a hole-in-one?
Have never.
Shu?
No, sorry.
Okay. Tiger Woods made his first hole-in-one at the age of 8 years old. 8 years old. The closest I've been is 6 inches to the hole of getting a hole-in-one.
Was that at the Sun Lakes course with Jimmy?
Matter of fact, that was at Rolling Hills many, many years ago when I was about.
That doesn't count then.
Yeah, 12. Well,
Par 3 course.
Yeah. Hey, coming up in hour number 3, get you caught up on the Suns to hire Mike Budenholzer and former Packers and Raiders wide receiver James Jones will join us at 3:30. That's all right here live from Wright Toyota on Fox Sports 910 and now on 99.9 FM HD3.
Clear.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B has been sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool and soothing tropical showcase. If you're looking for quality, reliability, and value, get a free quote at fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, historic rivalries tip off with shareable bites, and every shot you take is a game winner. All season long, you're balling with 29-degree beer, courtside seats, and scenic views. I mean, where else can you pair wall-to-wall hoops with hard-to-find whiskey? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
DQ presents how to officially start your summer. Step 1, head to the perfect spot to kick off the season, DQ. Step 2, try the new Summer Blizzard menu. I mean, summer is right there in the name. In Step 3, dig into flavors like new peanut butter cookie dough party, new picnic peach cobbler, and more. Because with treats like these, every bite feels like you're starting summer off right. But don't wait. These flavors are only around as long as summer is. Make the season official with the new Summer Blizzard menu. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
Tune in Saturday morning from 9 to 11 for Backspin, the golf show presented by Pigs. Play your best. The Backspin boys take you inside the ropes every week with guests and great debates on the game. Backspin, the golf show on Fox Sports 910.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Kind of like choosing Derek Jeter as the pinch hitter for your baseball team.
Jeter, you're in. We need a home run.
I'll give it a try. I've swung a bat once or twice.
That's out of here. Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Dukes, because there's only one Dukes. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Dukes on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Shots it.
We're Brown here with Accident Law Group. If you were hurt in an accident, find us on the web at accidentlawgroup.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the Rappy Law Group Studios. This is KTME Phoenix, KESC HD3 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your sports talk, podcasts, and music. Free never sounded so good.
Suns are looking to hire former Milwaukee Bucks head coach Mike Budenholzer as their next head coach. The Cardinals are reportedly signing wide receiver Zay Jones, who spent the last 2 seasons with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Former USC forward Brandon Gardner is transferring to ASU basketball. Gardner appeared in just 1 game as a freshman as he redshirted this past season. GCU is set to join the West Coast Conference beginning in 2025. They're currently a member of the Western Athletic Conference. And the Diamondbacks in Baltimore for a 3-game weekend series. Brandon Bach will get the start today. Already on Fox 10, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter the nationwide keyword money at foxsports910.com. That's money at foxsports910.com.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, now playing only in theaters.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the mid-60s, and then for your Saturday, low 90s with mostly sunny skies but breezy conditions through the weekend. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Every business faces challenges, but shipping shouldn't be one of them. Turn shipping to your advantage with USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B is sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com. Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
Our number 3 of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B out here at Wright Toyota. Dan Manucci alongside Jackson Groff and Chris Schubert back there at the iHeartRadio studios, as Jimmy B is always off on Friday. And we got Rock off on assignment going way back to North Carolina for this little golf tournament that he's going to.
Yeah, the Wells Fargo Championship $20 million purse signature event that he's going to.
His purses are getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
That's one of the benefits of LIV. You know, you say what you want to say about LIV, but because of LIV, the purses in the PGA Tour have increased.
Couple big stories going on. If you haven't heard yet, looks like Mike Budenholzer will be the next coach of the Phoenix Suns, looking to sign a multi-year deal. Figures, I think what they're saying now, 8-figure per year type of a deal. That's kind of the Monty Williams numbers. I think what's Monty at 12 to $13 million per year. Mike Budenholzer coming in here with an NBA title. He started off his head coaching career with the Atlanta Hawks. He took that team to two NBA East title games, lost both of them. I think both of them were the Cavaliers. Has done a hell of a job with 17 years with San Antonio. Was the assistant coach under Greg Popovich for those 17 years. Started off as if you don't know the story, as the AV coordinator or their film coordinator for San Antonio, and was a part of his staff and Greg Popovich's staff for many, many years. Dealt with a lot of egos. He understands a lot of egos. He's dealt with them, the highs and the lows. Went to Milwaukee, won that NBA title just a couple short years ago. Got let go. It looks as though as long as everybody can agree that he will be your next coach of the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting him facing Devin Booker in that NBA Finals, and now he's the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. Have a meeting with Devin Booker. Hey, these are how teams are guarding you. These are teams how guarding you, Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, and work from there. But the biggest thing, Manuch, he can do whatever he wants, but they've got to get the buy-in from this big three because they set the tone. Who's going to be the leader there? And from what I've been hearing, what I've been reading from guys like Gerald Bourguet and stuff, it seems that Budenholzer's offense is more high-paced, three-pointers, guys moving a lot, and that's what the Suns lacked last year. You saw a lot of ISO ball and just standing around.
Well, and here's the thing. You had a defensive coordinator or guru in Frank Vogel.
Coordinator in the NBA.
Yeah.
Such a football guy.
It is. No, they do. They call them defensive coordinators. The guy,
okay.
Yeah, they'll be the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator. They actually call them coordinators, if you will. They stole the term from football. Let's just figure. So you look at, he's coming in as a more of an offensive guy. You have the defensive guy. But on top of that, guys, who's going to take care? Who's going to make sure the Suns play defense? That's their offense, how they move the ball and get more touches, whatever you want to say, for the big three, or getting Grayson Allen, whomever. You still got to play D. You still got to D up, and that has been the common denominator when you watch these other second round of the playoffs. Is these teams are playing defense. Look at the New York Knicks, look at the Shoes Knickerbockers. I mean, Thibodeau has got them going. Timberwolves are playing defense. The Cavs, they D'd up against the Celtics when they had to. So I'm not worried about scoring for the Phoenix Suns. It's going to be about what's the strategy as far as stopping other teams. And I think that's going to be one of the key pieces from Mike Budenholzer, supposedly, allegedly going to be the Phoenix Suns' next head coach.
Yeah, we talked about it. They've got 2 NBA draft picks coming up. The lottery this weekend, they're not going to get a top 10 lottery pick, but they're 23, and they've got one in the second round, too. That's where you can start to get some of those wing perimeters that we talked about in the break there, Shu. Maybe some wing guys that can defend. Maybe you get a point guard or another big. Shu, who do you kind of think maybe ideal selection? Because there's not a lot of options where they can get in the vet minimum. Oh. Maybe you go out and get a young talent, not young, maybe 23, 24, 25 years old in college with experience.
I'm so glad that you asked about all the options that the Phoenix Suns might have via free agency. So, Manuch, you got a pen, piece of paper?
Hold on. I got my abacus out as well,
all right,
too.
These are the things that the Phoenix Suns cannot do this summer, okay?
Cannot
do, all right? They cannot use a mid-level exemption this summer.
Okay.
They cannot aggregate multiple contracts in a trade. They cannot take back more money than they send out in a trade. They cannot send out cash in a trade. And once the season begins, they cannot bring in players on the buyout market who made more than the league average salary, and they also don't control their own first-round picks for the next 6 years. You got all that? So with all of that information that I gave you, you tell me what they're going to do this summer.
Okay, hold on. Let me carry the 1 divided by 2. Make sure that I have...
Divide by the 3. Make sure you divide by the 3.
Okay. And then, if I do pi squared with the abacus and then add a little calculus.
It's a lot of rules for Matt Ishby to remember.
Well, that's why they pay those CPAs the big buck. It sounds as though, as Jax was alluding to, that there may be a couple of young guys, if not a young guy, that may have to come in and plug and play unless they can shuffle the deck with the guys on the bench. Yeah, there's can I say slim to none with none walked out the door?
This team is going to look very much the same. So right now, the salary cap is expected to be $141 million. The Suns currently have an estimated $206 million payroll for next season. They are well over the $171 million luxury line, the first one, and $16.3 million above the second tax apron.
Yeah, I mean,
Good
Budenholzer,
luck, James. Good luck.
I think him going in this situation, guys, he's got to exude that confidence. And this is what I want. I'm not going to sit back like Vogel and come to a situation where we don't have a point guard and I've got to rely on defense with all this big three and guys not buying in. You would think that this guy winning a title, especially recent against the Phoenix Suns, would have a lot of leverage in this franchise.
Well, I think that, and one thing about Mike Budenholzer is if he's got to rule with an iron fist and get guys to move, or they say the proverbial player's coach. That doesn't mean he's going to enable these guys. A player's coach is a guy that said, look, guys, here's what we're going to do. This is how I'm going to make it work. I will take your input to make it work, but I need you to buy in. I mean, he's got the cachet. He's got the clout to say, look, I've taken teams to conference titles in the East and in the West. And I've won an NBA title, and I've been an assistant coach with San Antonio, Greg Popovich. That was a dynasty. So he knows what it takes to win. So all eyes should be on him. All ears should be listening to him to say, look, I've been there and done that. I think just the respect of what he can do for them, especially for a team that totally underachieved, to come in here and get them in the right place. And to your point, I think that's great. Hey, Book, this is how we defended you against us. This is how we won 4 games in a row to win an NBA title. Hey, KD, here's some things that we're going to need out of you even more so. Hey, Grayson Allen, I know you can D up. I know you're a 3 guy. We want more mid-range stuff from you. Bradley Beal, you know what? We're going to take the ball out of your hands. We're going to screen, pick and roll, you name it, for you, all the above. And by the way, hey, James Jones, I need you to get whomever can handle the ball as some kind of a point guard, a backup point guard, because I do not want to be known as a head coach whose team is the worst in turnovers and whose team is the worst as far as bench score is concerned. So I think he's got that clout to tell James Jones what he's going to need on top of everything
and
else.
I think it's perfect timing with the ascension of Grayson Allen. This is a guy in Grayson Allen that played for Budenholzer for 2 years with Milwaukee. So now you have that kind of bridge gap of Grayson Allen going up to Durant, going up to Booker and Beal, and kind of letting him know what kind of coach Budenholzer is. Maybe you start to see a bigger role, a leadership role with Grayson Allen, because those two have history together. So it's kind of great timing with Grayson Allen being a positive from last season and Budenholzer being in the front seat.
And now that you threw a whole bunch of reality on top of my fire and kind of put water on it, we're going to still throw out our State 48 Roofing It's Your Call question of the day. For a free quote, repair, or installation, head to state48roofing.com and follow them on social media by searching hashtag #SexyRoofStatus. So what do you expect from the Suns with the big 3 coming back and a new head coach? Do you expect an NBA title, a Western Conference title, make it to the semifinal, or make it to the quarterfinal? All you have to do is just go to @Roc and Manuch. Currently, it is make it to the quarterfinal is in the lead at 42.9%. Make it to the semifinal, Western Conference title, which I voted for, and the NBA title all at 19%. So, yeah, I agree it's going to be very, very difficult. But as far as they get to the quarterfinal, it sounds a lot of folks, guys, are saying make it to the quarterfinal. And it seems, when we put it out there, it's like anything after that is a bonus.
And I think to Shu's point, I think Suns fans are starting to sit back and relax and not get all their eggs in one basket, if you will. So I think they're kind of sitting back and say, hey, the last 3 years, we've said we're going to win the title. Let's just make it to the playoffs, to Shu's point, and go on from there.
Well, guys, I was planning on where we're going to be doing our radio show on the parade when they brought Bradley Beal in. You got KD, you got Book, and I'm like, okay, you got Beal. Then you got Grayson Allen, and you looked like you picked up a few guys you thought were going to go ahead and help you out in reference to coming off the bench. You know what? My expectations were Western Conference final or bust.
As a Suns fan, Manus, do you ever back of your head wonder, what if they didn't trade Mikal and Cam Johnson?
Yeah, I do.
You ever wonder,
Sure.
what would the cap space look like every single year to get some of those role players, bench guys? What would it look like with all those picks? Because you wouldn't trade for Bradley Beal the way you did if you would have kept Mikal and Cam Johnson to see their ascension build. But Mikal Bridges, if he would have had his offensive scoring like he did in Brooklyn a year earlier, I don't think that trade happened.
So I think what I hear you saying is here's how I thought.
A lot of ifs.
Monty Williams stay, Cam Johnson, Mikal Bridges, and maybe even campaign, from that standpoint, if CP3 was moving on. Because you knew CP3 was going to move on, getting long in the tooth, goes to Golden State. But yeah, I do think about what if you added another piece, maybe not Kevin Durant, maybe it would be Bill, maybe Grayson Allen, maybe somebody coming off the bench. This team was they go to the NBA Finals. They lose 4 in a row. The following year, they're up 2-0. Then the Dallas Mavericks smoke them 4 games in a row. And then here comes a new owner going, you know what? I just can't have that. I'm going to enhance this team, and we're going to knock the damn door down and win the Western Conference Finals and get back that NBA title. We all thought that. Okay, good move. He's spending money. He wants to win, which he does. He wants to win. But did he outspend himself? That's the key that a lot of folks look at. So hopefully, my expectations will be, okay, after the quarterfinals, I'm hoping they get to the Western Conference Final. But at this point, I just hope to see some progress and movement, and don't ever get swept out of a quarterfinal. Hey, coming up next, we're going to take a good hard look at the 32 quarterbacks in the National Football League, and where does one Kyler Murray fit? It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, out here, right Toyota, right here on Fox Sports 910.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
Afternoon on the Santan, there's a wreck northbound 202 at the Val Vista Drive on-ramp on the left shoulder. Crash with injuries in Scottsdale on Via Linda and Frank Lloyd Wright. One on 32nd Street in Baseline and 67th Avenue in Glendale.
This report is sponsored by Robert Half. Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Beat the heat with a patio misting system from Fogco. Let Fogco design the perfect misting system for your patio, pool, or leisure areas. Stay cool all summer with Fogco patio misters. Get a free quote at Fogco.com. That's FOGCO.com. Fogco, serving the Valley for over 35 years.
Have you been arrested for something you didn't do? When your liberty is on the line, you need an aggressive, experienced attorney to defend your rights. Lerner & Rowe Law Group is the firm you can trust with your freedom. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state, and with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. Call Lerner & Rowe today for a free consultation. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
When it comes to men getting a vasectomy, you want to ensure you can go to the experts. So call Purely Vasectomies. Purely Vasectomies. They're easy, comfortable, and convenient. They have single appointment options with a same-day consultation and vasectomy. Plus, there are 3 Valley locations. Their experienced specialists take the time to answer all your questions. They offer sedation to keep you comfortable, and most men can return to work next day. Call Purely Vasectomies at 844-NO-SPERM.
Remarkable change begins with daring to be different. Baby, I'm on a mission with Boost Mobile, putting the latest phones in the hands of more people. Introducing the Signature Coat Prime Razor, only from Boost Mobile. Rush to your nearest Boost Mobile retailer and get your Signature Coat Prime Razor on us. Get after it.
When you switch in with ID verification, select plans only. Offer valid 4/19/24 through 5/23/24. While supplies last. Taxes extra. New customers only. Must remain active and in good standing on the $60 a month plan for 6 months to receive all credits. Offer subject to change.
The Suns are close to hiring former Bucks head coach and NBA champ Mike Budenholzer as their next head coach. He'll be the 3rd coach the team has hired within a 12-month span. The Cardinals have reportedly signed wideout Zay Jones. He spent the last 2 seasons with the Jaguars. Game 3 for the Knicks and Pacers in Indiana tonight. New York leads 2-0, but they're without OG Anunoby. He's got a hamstring injury. I'm Frank Garrity.
This is former Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Mentor Mornings, The Drive with Jody Ayler. Listen Monday, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910.
Back here at Wright Toyota, Dan Manuch alongside Jackson Groff. Chris Schubert back at the controls at the iHeartRadio studio. So we thought we'd give the hoops a little bit of a break on the precipice with the rookie mini camps going on right now around the National Football League. We thought we'd take a look at the top 32 quarterbacks in the National Football League. Now, this is, I guess, to Cody Benjamin of is this CBS Sports here, Jax?
Yeah, CBS Sports. And, power rankings don't mean a whole lot. But in a time where there's no football and we're just fiending 3 to 4 months out of football, rankings always spark debates, always spark conversation. And specifically for this one, it definitely sparked a lot of debate, especially on Fox Sports.
In light of that, I look, and we're going to go through this with you folks, but I look at a lot of this, and there could be some interchanging parts. But as far as the power rankings are concerned, let's look at the top 10 first, Jax, before. Let's look at 10 all the way to number 1, and we can kind of debate one way or the other.
Yeah, so open conversation. Shoot, if you want to participate as well, go right ahead. We know you love these NFL debates. But at number 10,
let's start at number 11 first.
Sorry.
Yeah,
at number 11, Aaron Rodgers.
You said she was participating, right? Okay.
11, Aaron Rodgers. 10, Jordan Love.
Okay.
9, Justin Herbert. 8, Dak Prescott. 7, Jalen Hurts. 6, Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson. 5, CJ Stroud. 4, Joe Burrow. 3, Josh Allen. 2, Brock Purdy. 1, Patrick Mahomes. Before we give you the floor, let's go to Schubert on his top 11 reaction.
There's so much wrong here, just in the top 11. There's just so much. I actually don't mind Rodgers where he's ranked. I think the blurb that's mentioned about him is if he's healthy, he's going to be in the mix to be a top 5 quarterback. But because we don't know what he's going to be, that you kind of just move him down a little bit. That's fine. Dak Prescott, a top 8 quarterback. Joe Burrow, who didn't play at all last year, is a top 4 quarterback. I would put CJ Stroud in front of Joe Burrow going into 2024 as it stands right now. And listen, Manuch, I love Brock Purdy. I think he deserves his flowers, but I would take Josh Allen over Brock Purdy right now. So I would put Brock Purdy 3. So there's just so much here in the top 11, and we didn't even get to where Kyler's ranked on this list. It makes me want to punch the computer.
Yeah, I think Brock and Josh could be interchangeable as far as that's concerned. Patrick Mahomes, a clear number 1. I mean, I think I look at as far as Brock taking the Niners to two NFC title games in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen's right up there. I agree with you. Those could be interchangeable. Maybe Josh has got a little bit of lead because he's done it a little bit more, a few more times. Burrow, I agree with you. He wasn't, was hurt the whole time. CJ Stroud, I mean, that's a big jump for a rookie quarterback, but he earned it. He proved it. Did a heck of a job. I'm like you, Dak Prescott. I'd have Justin Herbert in front of Dak Prescott in reference to
Jordan
what
Love.
he's done.
Jordan Love should be in front of him too.
How are you going to have the 2024 NFL MVP underneath a guy in Joe Burrow that didn't play half the season?
That's a great point.
That's my thing. If I were to change, I agree with Shu with Allen and Purdy interchangeable. I think Purdy's definitely a top 5 quarterback.
Sure.
I would move CJ Stroud. I'd put Lamar over CJ Stroud just with the courtesy of the MVP.
I would agree.
And then I would put Burrow down over there to 6 and just move those 2 up. But other than that, I agree. Shu, Dak Prescott, even Jalen Hurts at 7, kind of an iffy year there. And then at Justin Herbert, kind of a prove-it year for Justin Herbert.
Yeah, it is. And I think that they were just a mess last year. They're definitely a mess. Let's look at 15 to 11 because I've got some concerns. I got some.
So we'll go 15
here.
ascending down.
Okay.
15, Trevor Lawrence. Again, another quarterback in that terrible NFL draft quarterback class. He's the one surviving on his only team that he was drafted to. Matt Stafford at 16. Deshaun Watson at 17. Raise some eyebrows there from Manuch. We'll get back to you in a second. 18, Geno Smith. 19, Russell Wilson. 20, Baker Mayfield. And, Kyler Murray, 21. Ranked lower than Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, and Baker.
Man, before we move on, give us 12, 13, 14, up to 15 before you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. We missed that whole gap.
That's
12, Tua Tagovailoa. 13, Jared Goff. 14, Kirk Cousins. So right in the middle.
How is Tua ahead of Jared Goff? Please. Seriously? Okay, had a good year last year, but okay, I get it. Kirk Cousins, coming off the Achilles. I could see he's in front of Trevor Lawrence. I would have Matthew Stafford in front of Trevor Lawrence. Matthew Stafford, what he's done, Super Bowl, last year taking that scruffle-upless team, getting into the playoffs. This is a head-scratcher. Deshaun Watson, after Joe Flacco came in and pretty much took over the reins, talented, I get it. Gifted, I get it. But just has not put that consistency to be number 17. I would have put Geno Smith out of one of Deshaun Watson. Then Russell Wilson, 19. I would have had Baker Mayfield ahead of Russell Wilson, Geno Smith, and Deshaun Watson heading into this year. I'd have had him way up in number 17. Kyler Murray, 21. I guess that's a decent spot for him. I mean, you only played 8 games last year. Was it 8 games last year or was it 9 games last year?
Yeah, he was on an injury. I mean, for Kyler's sake, it's I mean, shoot, you can say your Kyler take. I think it's pretty disrespectful to put him under Russell Wilson personally. Thoughts?
We are in this weird place because it was a couple of years ago where I thought we were overvaluing Kyler Murray as a quarterback, and we were putting him in these top 10 lists because of how good he was as a rookie and his ability to extend plays and run around and do all the stuff that we see him do on a regular basis. We are now disrespecting Kyler Murray. This is ridiculous to me. Deshaun Watson has not been the Deshaun Watson of Houston in 4 years, and he is in front of Kyler Murray. Geno Smith might not keep that job in Seattle beyond this season, yet he's in front of Kyler Murray. Russell Wilson got cut by the Denver Broncos after having a better season than his first year in Denver and signed a 1-year deal with the Steelers, who then immediately went out and traded for Justin Fields to have a quarterback competition. Yet he is in front of Kyler Murray. Now, if you want to tell me Baker Mayfield had a good year last year, we can have that conversation. But to tell me that Deshaun Watson, Geno Smith, and Russell Wilson are in front of Kyler Murray going into 2024, it's ridiculous. He's a top 20 quarterback. I think Kyler perfectly fits in to that middle tier between 12 and 16 is where we should be having a conversation with Kyler Murray.
And then after that, it's interesting to look at the rookies, actual rookies making their debut. Continue on after Kyler Murray.
So this is where it gets interesting. You got 22 Will Levis from the Tennessee Titans, going to be the quarterback 1 with a loaded offense next year. 23 Caleb Williams, 24 Anthony Richardson. Again, another guy that got hurt last year, had a lot of upside, but what are we going to see from him this next season with the Colts?
Okay, now before you give 25 and 26, I'm going to take a deep breath here.
2 minutes.
Go ahead.
25, J.J. McCarthy.
Is ahead of who?
26, Derek Carr, another guy who was hurt a lot last season, entering year 11. But in bold letters, it says on the top, these are just based on the current, on the now.
You have a rookie at Derek Carr, 26, behind J.J. McCarthy, the rookie, J.J. McCarthy.
27, they have Jacoby Brissett, not even Drake May starting. They think Jacoby Brissett. 28, Jaden Daniels. 29, Gardner Minshew. 30, Bo Nix. 31, Bryce Young. And for all you Giants fans out, where's Daniel Jones? Yeah, they got him at 32.
This is stupid, too. Like, what? I mean, I know Daniel Jones has been hurt, but when he's been healthy, he hasn't been terrible. He hasn't been the worst starting quarterback in the league terrible. This list is very bad.
So guys, I have a feeling we're gonna be reacting to a ton of rankings this offseason, a ton of lists. You guys got to rate 1 to 10. 1 being
10.
The worst ranking possible.
1.
10 being the best ranking possible.
I got to put this number 1. I mean, to see some of these rookies ahead of some of the veterans.
It was a good start at the top 3, Manuch.
Yeah, it was a very good start.
I felt pretty happy having your boy Brock.
Yes, he could be 2, he could be 3, and have no problem.
And it spiraled so quickly after that. The first 3, and then it just was a complete mess the rest of the way.
We need to come up with us 3. We all need to sit down.
Oh,
we need to come up with our top 32 and debunk this list.
Oh, it really was. It needs to be debunked. Well, coming up, we'll catch up with former Packers and Raiders receiver, and he's also part of SS1 Speak. James Jones will be joining us, get his thoughts on maybe this list and most productive moves. Who made the most productive moves this offseason? It's Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, right here on Fox Sports 910.
Clear.
What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
It's the weekend in Baltimore for the D-backs. He'll send Brandon Font to the bump in today's series opener. Sean Burrows, a member of the Diamondbacks 2011 team that won the NL West, has passed away at the age of 43. The Suns are expected to make it official soon. The hiring of Arizona native Mike Budenholzer as their new head coach. Free agent wideout Zay Jones signing with the Cardinals. The veteran had 34 receptions for the Jaguars last season. For Grand Canyon announcing today that they will join the West Coast Conference for the 25-26 school year, leading the Western Athletic Conference. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for mostly clear skies, temperatures dipping down into the mid-60s, and then for your Saturday, low 90s with mostly sunny skies but breezy conditions through the weekend. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2024.
The Carlisle, Arizona Women's Golf Classic is here May 6th through the 12th with the biggest purse on tour. The best women golfers on the Epson Tour will be at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course, brought to you by the Carlisle Companies. Get close-up access to the future of women's golf. May 6th through the 12th at TPC Scottsdale's Champions Course. Go to CarlisleLPGA.com for tickets. CarlisleLPGA.com. Whatever you do, be there.
Life's a sprint. Need G2G protein bars. Grab and go fuel for the office, links, and daily grind. Score an 8-pack at Costco or explore flavors at G2GBar.com. Quick, delicious, power-packed G2G protein bars. Setting your pace.
Investing in a high-quality misting system from Fogco will be the coolest decision you ever make for your home patio, pool area, or commercial property. Fogco, the Valley's original manufacturer of high-pressure fog systems, is one of the pioneers in the misting industry for over 35 years. Let Fogco transform your outdoor living and entertainment areas into a cool
5-year, $50+ million deal for Budenholzer.
Quality, reliability, and value. Get a free quote at
50+.
That's FO.
Is the way Shams is reporting it.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else?
Over under 2.5 years for Mike Budenholzer.
Always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get ready for double the fun on the 101. Introducing the Salt River Rewards Program at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort, the Valley's newest and best. With multiple tiers and endless benefits, we've got something for everyone. Don't miss out on the excitement. Salt River Rewards, the Valley's premier player rewards program, now at Casino Arizona and Talking Stick Resort. 2 properties, 1 amazing club, offering limitless fun on the 101. Discover the best in the Valley at saltriverrewards.com.
A small commitment at least 1 day a week helps reduce ground level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Reduce traffic congestion and ozone-causing emissions by teleworking. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
Hello, Phoenix. We have some exciting news. Local high school sports has a new home right here on Fox Sports 910 AM. The Coach B and Eternal radio show can now be heard right here on Fox Sports 910.
The Manuch
every Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. Don't miss it.
Is the first 3 digits the correct order?
$500 off all water softeners with my friends at Plum Smart. Hey, it's Jody Ayler. Did you know that
Okay, hold on, stand by.
can help extend the life of your plumbing and appliances in your home? Plum Smart also offers 0% financing or no payments for 12 months. So if you want $500 off all water softeners this month only at Plum Smart, call
That he didn't answer.
480-65.
He just kept ringing and went to voicemail.
Or go to itsjustplumsmart.com because plumbers and AC guys charge too much.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV,
go to Budenholzer first.
and more. All your protection in one place.
You can always pivot later.
At Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Okay, I'll keep an eye out. You're hot.
Welcome back to Roc and Manuch, Jimmy Beam. I'm Manuch. He's Jackson Grove. He's Chris Schubert. Well, the number is in as far as one Mike Budenholzer being reported by. What's the number? Who's being reported by?
Shams Sarania. The deal is 5 years, $50+ million to become the Suns' new head coach.
Wow, 10 million ducats. There's your 8 figures right there. A lot of dinero, and it looks like Matt Ishbia is not afraid to pay the head coach. I'm sure that the staff he hires on will be an outstanding staff as well too. That's a lot of dough, guys. And you know, if Monty Williams is making what, $12-13 million a year in Detroit, that's the new comp of a guy that's won a title in Mike Budenholzer. But 5-year, $50 million deal, $10 million per year. Seems as though this. I also got a couple other reports coming over the phone that they look to get this wrapped up quickly.
Yeah, and I think this is the guy with Budenholzer, what you saw with not only the title there in 2021, but his way to transform guys like Bobby Portis, Joe Ingles, Brooke Lopez, and Drew Holiday into true contributing role players. And he's going to have a slim list picking with vet minimum guys and maybe have to even get some guys out of the draft there to contribute on that bench. But the fact that yesterday Frank Vogel was fired and Budenholzer and Ishbia, and I'm excited to see what Ishbia has to say. Was this an ongoing conversation, or was it just a phone call right after? Or, hey, I messed up, I should have hired you last year. But with Budenholzer hiring that quickly with how long the Lakers job's been available, it's a good sign for Suns fans that he wants this job.
Yeah, I got to imagine when, as much as the Suns struggled this year, if they had come out at least the first round, got into the second round, I think the Frank Vogel's job would have been secured. But I think the way that the Suns lost in that first round, they I guess the good old college try is what I'll call it in that very last game. But having Mike Budenholzer out there and seeing that this team underperformed, even though they did win 49 games, but I got to feel that Matt Ishbia, the owner of the Suns, wasn't quite seeing what he thought he would see coming more out of this team. I think the other thing that was very disheartening for Matt Ishbia, and we belabored the point forever all year, was the amount of turnovers, the lack of scoring from the bench, and it's just very lethargic look by this Suns team. 3 steps forward, 5 steps back. The other thing was the inconsistency that they saw. And I think that Matt Ishbia said, look, I hired this, air quotes, defensive guru, right? Well, where was the defense? The faltering in the fourth quarters. So I really believe that Matt Ishbia might have had some kind of epiphany, maybe toward the end of the year going, look, if we go into the playoffs playing this inconsistent and not getting this fixed, even though they did win 7 out of the last 10 games, the toughest 10-game stretch of the year for anybody, the last 10 games of the year in the NBA, and they win 7 out of 10. And I think at that point, Matt Ishbia goes, well, maybe they got it fixed. But when you come out and lay an egg, obviously all of those sins of the past come to haunt you in the meantime, and they never got it fixed. So I got to believe, and I don't know, I'm just going to speculate here, folks, that with all these woes going on or inconsistency, that he might have had his eye on Mike Budenholzer to say, well, if this thing doesn't get turned around, I have a pretty good idea. I'm going to let Frank Vogel go and go after a guy that can get things going offensively and can maybe get more out of a team, more to get a team to do what I want them to do than Frank Vogel. That's just me looking at it from a fan or as a head coach going, these guys are underachieving. I need to go get somebody that can get them to play on a consistent basis. And hopefully Mike Budenholzer will be able to do that.
Yeah, and it's a tough situation, and he's going to have to maximize each of the big three with, like we mentioned, with little cap space, with free agents out there, and with NBA draft and stuff like that. But again, another situation you get to deal with Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant, 6 head coaches in 6 years. So you knew that Kevin Durant, with speculations of the offensive scheme didn't suit bet for Kevin Durant. You kind of saw the body language on the bench. Hopefully the Kevin Durant that we all expected, the young years, the fiery, the leadership Kevin Durant can be that type, because I mean, look at Devin Booker. He's been looking up at Kevin Durant his whole career. Wherever he goes, Devin Booker's going to go as well.
Speaking of Devin Booker, Book's a hell of a player. We get that. I just, to me, folks, and this is just my opinion, this team looked uninspired. But Devin Booker, you are the face of the Phoenix Suns. You needed to step up more so,
James,
show more energy, and show some of the things in reference to what we saw there. Now joining us on the right to guest line is James Jones, a former Packer and Oakland Raiders wide receiver. Also, he's part of the panel of the daily panel on FS1's Speak Now, joining us. James, it's Manuch alongside Jax. How are we doing this afternoon?
What's going on, my brother?
Well, we're just talking about Mike Budenholzer, and it looks like he's going to be the new head coach of the Phoenix Suns. He's going to make a cool $10 million per year. He's going to sign a $50 million 5-year contract. I think he'll be okay after it's all said and done.
I think he'll be just fine. I think he'll be able to get him a nice little house out here in Arizona, I think he'll be just fine.
Hey, before we, as we look at basketball, we want to get you on because the draft is somewhat come and gone, and I want to get your thoughts in reference to not only teams in the draft, but teams in the free agency moves, teams in the trade. When you look at this offseason with OTAs or mini camps starting for rookies today and this weekend, who's the initial top 2 or 3 teams in your mind that has really had a good all the above as far as draft, free agency, and or trades?
Well, obviously the Chicago Bears. I mean, if you're talking about getting 2 top 10 picks, 2 really good football players, and then not only that, what they did in free agency, adding Keenan Allen to DJ Moore, then you drafted Doomsday, you add Everett from the Chargers, you add Swift. I just think everything that they did in the offseason draft, including free agency, this is going to be a really good offensive team. And last year, their offensive line played really well. They were a solid offensive line, so they'll be better. And then another one, even though I could be a little biased, is the Green Bay Packers. I mean, what they have done to go with Jordan Love, you got a plethora of young receivers that could ball going into year 2. We all know the game slows down for you in year 2, so you're only going to be better. You get Josh Jacobs in the backfield, which is an upgrade from Aaron Jones. You get Xavier McKinley at the safety spot, which is another upgrade. You draft a really good linebacker out of Texas A&M. They did some really, really good things. If they can stay healthy, they are going to be a really good football team. So those are the 2 teams that stick out.
James, the Arizona Cardinals rookie minicamp was today, and I know Cardinals fans are excited to see Marvin Harrison Jr. in Cardinals uniform. Take me back to when you were in 2007, when you were a rookie going into rookie minicamp. What was that experience like for you walking in as a wide receiver? And I guess what kind of advice would you give a guy with Marvin Harrison Jr.? Maybe a lot more pressure coming into the organization than when you were back in 2007, but what was that experience like?
Well, number one, you just want to get the playbook down. I think that's the main thing. Number 2, I think Marvin Harrison is coming into a pretty better situation than a lot of other rookies are coming into, because I was a 3rd-round pick. That's no guarantee to make the roster. You still got to prove yourself. You got to go out there and you still have to make plays. If Marvin Harrison drops every single ball in camp, every single ball in preseason, surprise, surprise, he's going to be on the team. So I don't think he has too much pressure on him just to go out there, man, learn the playbook, especially once the vets come back, get on the same page with Kyler Murray. But, as for him, man, it's just stay healthy, man, and get that playbook down. And once he gets, the veterans get there, then now it's time to build the chemistry with the quarterback, Kyler Murray, because that you are going to be one of the ones on the football field.
So on paper, Zay Jones, he gets signed today by the Cardinals. Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, you talk about Marvin Harrison, Greg Dortch. I mean, on paper, that's a pretty good receiving core with some good depth, decent offensive line. Kyler Murray going into his 5th year. How much expectations can these Cardinal fans have with that kind of a passing game, and then James Conner pounding the football?
Man, I know I'm in Arizona, man, but I don't know how excited Arizona fans should be about the Cardinals. And what I mean by that is, like, you play this game to win and get to the playoffs and have a chance to compete at the highest level. I don't necessarily think that this Cardinals team is a playoff team this year. I think they are some pieces away from being one of those teams. You have the Niners in your division. You have the Rams in your division who went to the playoffs last year. And you have the Seahawks in your division who is going to be a much better team this year as well. So I think it's going to be tough on them to make the playoffs and get to that point. But I do think they will look like a much better team than they were last year.
And when you watch Kyler Murray and you've watched him these 5 years, James, I mean, what do you feel his next step will be coming from a former wide receiver? I know what I need to see as a quarterback, but what do you need to see as a former receiver from Kyler Murray as a quarterback for the Cardinals?
Man, to be honest with you, I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan. I think this dude could be one of the best that we have in our game. He's mobile. He throws the ball in anticipation. He has a really good ball. When he is healthy, this Cardinals team is in every single game that they're in. It's not too many games to where Kyler Murray's at that quarterback spot and the team is getting blown out. This is a solid team that's able to compete when Kyler Murray's there. If I was a receiver, I would love to play with Kyler Murray. that's why I was truly excited when Marvin Harrison went here, because you are playing with a guy that's capable of getting you the ball and throwing you the football. And not only that, he can make you better. As good as Marvin Harrison is, Kyler Murray has the ability to put the ball anywhere he wants to make him better as well. And as a receiver, that's all you want to ask for.
He's James Jones. You can follow him at 89 Jones NTAF, at 89 Jones NTAF. Love the banner with Austin Rivers. I'm glad you put that basketball player in his place, James.
Man, to be honest with you, man, I'm not even the conflict guy. I try to stay in my lane and not cause no problems. But for me, I just felt like it was a disrespect to our profession.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I can understand if you're like, hey, man, I think Anthony Edwards has the ability to play safety. He's that type of athlete. That's cool. But when you sit there and say, there's 30 guys right now in the National Football League, in the NBA that could do what we do in the National Football League, and then to add on and say, yeah, all the receivers do is just catch and turn north and south, man, it is not that easy. Put some respect on our craft, because we don't just say, oh, man, all you got to do is go out there and dribble the ball twice and throw it up. No, man, we respect yours guys' game, respect our game. It's a lot that goes into the DB position, the receiver position, obviously the quarterback position, the O-line position, all the way down. It's a lot that goes into being a good football player. It's not that easy.
And and James Jones won a Super Bowl too. Yeah, let's mention that. Yeah, flash the ring in his face.
By the way, James, way to have the receipts, the stats. I loved it, man. Your quarterback training is coming alive.
You know what I'm saying? I'm smart, man. The quarterback is always the smartest player on the field. I'm just trying to be like y'all. That's it.
He's James Jones. You can catch him every day on FS1's Speak. And also you can go to at 89 Jones NTAF. Brother, always a pleasure to have you. We thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Not a problem. Appreciate you guys.
You bet. James is courtesy of Twin Peaks as the weekends get ready to kick off at Twin Peaks now with 5 Valley locations. Twin Peaks are NBA and NHL playoff headquarters. And then also they got going on this weekend, they got UFC Fight Night, Lewis versus Nascimento. That'll be tomorrow night. And also Diazien Hernandez versus Lugo. Much more to go. But this weekend, tomorrow night, they got the May Fight Nights going on. We'll get you all the information about June Fight Nights, all those particulars that are going on as well, too. Well, coming up, what's on tap? And we'll look at the latest State 48 Roofing. It's your call question today rankings. Thanks for joining us today from Wright Toyota. It's Fox Sports 910 and now 99.9 HD3.
Traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
101 Pima Freeway southbound, south of Raintree. We have an accident blocking the HOV lane stop and go traffic from Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. Also an accident involving a motorcyclist, Bullitt Avenue at Yuma Road.
This report is sponsored by Brake Masters. The open road is the one place you need to be in control at all times. There's a surprise around every corner, and Brake Masters takes that seriously. Get your vehicle in Brake Master shape today. Download coupons and schedule an appointment from your smartphone.
Master. It's Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, coupling together patchwork roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, Rock, for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at wrighttoyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out wrighttoyota.com.
Is it time for an all-in-one wireless printer with tons of connectivity options? With Document Solutions of the Valley, you can buy, lease, or rent models that work off of your smartphone. Call 623-252-8282. Document Solutions of the Valley. Our service can't be copied.
Are you looking for a change in your career path or just looking to get back into the employment market again? Look no further. All City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings are in the areas of customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. If you're looking for a challenging yet rewarding opportunity, a great benefits program including 401k program with a generous company match, and a company that is a leader in the industry, apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call All City's HR department at 480-833-7278. All City Towing is Arizona's largest towing transport vehicle storage provider, locally owned and invested within the communities they service. If you enjoy helping others by providing great customer service, working as a team, and possess great communication skills, All City is for you. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 480-833-7278. That's allcitytowing.com.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
The only place you're going to find 3 10-foot screens with games on full volume in 3 separate rooms, all in the same bar.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
With dozens more big screens. You'll find every game you're looking for only at Duke's, because there's only one Duke's. Voted best sports bar by New Times.
Duke's on Miller and McDowell.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, darts, karaoke and trivia nights. 3 huge patios on the Greenbelt, all doggy friendly.
Where Dukes? Miller and McDowell. Shut up! Progressive knows when you own a boat, life on land is a tough sell.
Come on down to Land. The place where you can do so much walking. You can walk to work, the bus stop, or the gym, where you can pretend you're walking up an endless flight of stairs. Even when you're flying somewhere, you can take a really long walk through the airport. It's Land.
Life on a boat is way more relaxing, and it's even more relaxing when you protect your boat with Progressive, America's #1 boat insurer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, #1 rating based on 2022 boat market share data from ratefilings.com.
Now back to the Roc and Manuch Show, live from Wright Toyota. Right on the corner, right on the selection, and always right on the price. Wright Toyota, 77th Street and Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
Let's get ready for football!
It's Football at 50, the latest top football story trending this hour, right here with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910 on iHeartRadio app.
Putting a wrap on another fine edition of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B out here at Wright Toyota. Cardinals have a brand new veteran wide receiver, Jax.
Zay Jones on a 1-year, $4.5 million contract. An absolute steal. This is the guy coming from the Jaguars. He was on a 3-year, $24 million contract. Now, Cardinals fans, 2023, this last season was not his season. Maybe dealing with some injuries, and with the addition of Calvin Ridley, his targets decreased. But that 2022 season, when they made the playoffs, he made some crucial catches down the stretch. And Manuch, you got a veteran presence, you got a tall 6'2" wide receiver, and from what we're seeing, probably going to be a starting wide receiver for the Cardinals.
Just had James Jones on, former Packers and Raiders wide receiver. Now part of the panel of FS1 Speak. We talked about on paper this Cardinals offense. So Kyler Murray, here he is in his 5th year. I think he's got a pretty good arsenal of receivers. Marvin Harrison, Michael Wilson. You got Zay Jones. You got Greg Dortch. Then you got your tight end, Trey McBride. So your 3 starters are going to be Wilson, Harrison, and Zay Jones. Got your fine tight end. I think you got a pretty solid offensive line. You got James Conner in the backfield. You got Benson, the young kid from Florida State, as the backup, who can also catch out of the backfield screens, slip screens, option routes. He doesn't feel, and unlike James, I think the Cardinals are a year away from the playoffs. Now, I do see them winning. I would say, would they win 4 last year? If they win, I'd say they've got a chance to win 8 to 9 games, but I think they miss the playoffs or miss the wild card because of the 49ers, because of the LA Rams, and I think Seattle will be much improved or will be going back to playoffs as well.
Yeah, and I think with James's answer, he's just saying proceed with caution. We saw a big breakout season for Trey McBride. We got to see that again. Michael Wilson shows some flashes, but the biggest question mark, well, let's face it, Marvin Harrison Jr. in year 1 is going to be expected a lot as a rookie. If he flourishes and he's the guy that we saw at Ohio State that deserves to be that 4th overall pick in his first year, this offense is going to look completely different.
Well, and you hope. I mean, you always do. I remember I've thought of receivers that have come in over the years. Frank Sanders, we have on Monday at 3:30. He came in and produced right away. And Quan Bolden and Larry Fitzgerald both came in and produced right away. But I will say this. As I recollect, as a true rookie, I thought Anquan Bolden came in and produce at a high level on a consistent basis, probably more so than Frank, and Frank will admit that. And then Larry. I mean, you remember Larry as a rookie, he played well, but we didn't really see his top production until years 2 and 3. But I got to say, when Anquan Boldin came in as a rookie, he played hard, he got open, and he was consistent. And the other thing, too, is he was healthy. And here's a guy who was healthy in reference to making all the reads, making all the catches, and those are some of the things you take a good hard look at. Also going on starting today is the Arizona Cardinals rookies. The rookie minicamp is going on this entire weekend. I can only tell you what, learn the playbook. One more time, learn the playbook.
Yeah, and it's a small roster. Usually these rookie mini camps, you'll see a roster of, I don't know what you say, 50 players to be able to do 11 on 11 with the quarterback and stuff like that. But for the Arizona Cardinals, very short list. It's their draft class of 12, a couple undrafted guys, including Xavier Weaver, who I'm excited to see, wide receiver out of Colorado, and then Talia Tagovailoa as their tryout quarterback for today to throw around some balls to Marvin Harrison Jr. and the wide receivers that they have too. So a short one, 5 rookies got signed, but all in all, should be a successful minicamp.
Take a look at what's on tap. The Diamondbacks at the Orioles are going to be starting here in about 10 minutes. Folks, this is only going to be on Apple TV. That's it. Not going to be on Cox Channel 34, but it will be on Apple TV. You got the NBA games starting here at 4 o'clock on ESPN. It's the Knicks at the Pacers. And at 6:30 also on ESPN, it'll be the Nuggets at the Timberwolves. So that is what's on tap. Jax, our State 40 Roofing, it's your call. Question of the day. How's it shaking out for
Yeah,
you?
just go to @Roc and Manuch. You have 12 more hours left to vote. I know Schubert, 12 more hours. You can vote on this later if you want to. But the question,
I'm taking my time. I'm really going to make sure I think this over before I cement my answer. So I'm going to take all
the
12 hours,
sarcasm
please.
from Chris Schubert. I love it.
Coming from the proverbial New Yorker that we have back there at the studio. Long Islander.
The question is, what do you expect from the Suns with the big 3 coming back in a new head coach in Mike Budenholzer? An NBA title, Western Conference title, make the semifinal, or make the quarterfinal, a.k.a. make the playoffs, is your leading candidate at 42.9%, and the other 3 options are all tied at 19%, Manuch.
Yeah, I know. I had, I got my heart is a big old orange heart. It's going to
We just don't want to see you hurt, Manuch.
No, I won't. I'll
we
be
don't
fine.
want to see you hurt after all these high expectations.
I'm a
and
big
letting you
boy.
down.
I can handle it. I'm a big boy.
It's been what, 30, 40, 50, 60 years?
55, 56 years that the Phoenix Suns have been here on the earth. They've been in the semi, they've been in the finals twice and come up with goose eggs.
30.
But you just never know. Hey, tomorrow it'll all get started from Take the Points. Who you guys got on tomorrow? They're Jack.
I'm actually going to be out of town, but I know Mike Gross and them have some cooking. I think they're going to talk Cardinals. They talk NFL, all going on there in the NBA playoffs as well.
Yeah, it'll go from 11 to 1 tomorrow. Hey, for Shu back at the studio, from Jax, I'm Manuch. And for the
10.
folks out here at Ride Toyota, join us again tomorrow live at Casino Arizona